And blessings. This is Mr. Westbrooks, educator, astronumerologist, and co-host of Unread Book Review with Nick and Rue. Let me put y'all up on this new ebook series that's here to educate our people of all ages, especially the youth, about our collective power, both historically, presently, and beyond. Voices of the Diaspora, written by Knowledge Born Allah, is unique in that it takes the traditional e-reading experience and infuses it with audio recordings, revolutionary songs, and revolutionary music videos. Some of the topics include stories about Black entrepreneurs, stories about Black women who have shaped our world, and stories of Black innovators who've impacted the field of STEAM, plus much more. If you want to know more about this series and what it has to offer, check out our unread episode featuring Knowledge Born Allah, who was also the founder and host of Do the Knowledge Radio. After the interview, go log on to dotheknowledgeradio.com so you can get your copy of Voices of the Diaspora so that you, your family, your community, and your world can be inspired by the stories of visionaries shaping our future and honoring our past. Thank you in advance for your support and continue striving to be the best version of yourself. Peace.
All of the in show business.
All right, peace and blessings. Can y'all hear me okay? Mic check, 1, 2.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of Do Knowledge Radio. Place where Knowledge is born. It's your host, Knowledge Born Allah, and I'm here with my matriarchs. You understand what I'm saying? I finally got both of my matriarchs together. So if y'all saw the magical matriarchs in March, it was because of these two divine African warrior matriarchs, okay? Two loving mothers, two educators, two phenomenal examples of the ideal African woman. One who helped to spark and shape and create the universe that we exist in and the planet that we dwell in spirit and in truth. So again, it becomes my honor and privilege at this time to introduce some of the others. I'm telling you, I done had the greatest weekend of my life. Let me tell you something. Tamir Rice's mother was here on Thursday, right? So she was here on Thursday, sharing her story, sharing a part of her journey. You know, another one of those magical matriarchs. I sat at the feet of my revolutionary elder, Baba Jalil Mutakin, political prisoner, held 49 years captive, sharing his story about his journey and his family. And he said one of the most striving forces in his life that helped him throughout his time in captivity, 49 years, was his mother. Wow. His mother was there to the end, defending her son from beginning to the end. She told the world, I give birth to Panthers. You understand what I'm saying? So
come on.
Then we had our brother over Femi yesterday, and the way he was giddy and smiling, talking about that African woman that he with, you know, Arkansas RBD legacy over there. They got you growing food. Right. You understand what I'm saying? You get with a Black woman, she clean you up. You're out there in the garden now. You understand? You're a warrior in the garden. All right. So the capstone, the pinnacle of this is these magical matriarchs that are here that are guiding our next generation, not in theory alone, but in practical application. You have to put your hands on something and get busy. It's a requirement. And if y'all know anything about Dr. Mott students and Mama Nkoyo students, the standards are high. Okay, mediocrity will not get you anything but a checkup from the neck up. So again, it becomes my honor and privilege at this time to introduce some of the others. Anime Productions on Uhuru Academies on. There's Wild Warrior women up in here making things happen. My man Nkoyo and Dr. Oya Ma'at.
Welcome. Greetings, family. Greetings, family. I'm looking forward to the build.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm mad that my sister don't got much time because I know we like to talk, and this is a scene that's need more time. So we're gonna have to come back and do this and give us this justice, definitely. But I'm sorry.
Look, Mama. I try to text and see if I can hold off this 2:00. I try to see if I can hold them off a little bit.
So I know we ever stay busy. So
Right.
this is I'm glad we have been able to start the conversation. So we're good.
Absolutely. So, Brother Niles Born, you're going to lay out that backstory, the context that you gave me before the start of the show.
I saw this clip, and I've been watching this show over the years, for many years, and it's a myriad of ways to look at this show. Good Times, the first Black family in cinematic production that they portrayed, and I'm looking and seeing, and I saw this clip, and I was like, wait a minute, how did I miss this growing up? How did I miss this? Because I had to grow up. You understand? I had to grow up. I had to get some context. I had to get some living experience. You hear things about a time that you didn't exist in, so you infer. So, you're like, oh, okay, well, they was kicking, the Black man out of the house and blah, 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 and all of this, right? So you hear those things, right? And you might have been a victim of it. You see what I'm saying? And dealing in the after effects of it. So there's a lot of things that are happening, but it's not that simple. So here to do a critical analysis of a scene that happened on that show, and kind of discuss the handling and the things that are perpetual. So the things we find in this scene on Good Times, this episode with Penny being abused by her mother and escaping that sort of abuse, and she runs away to the Evans family house, and they don't even know that she's there. They don't even know that she's there. So she hid herself in the closet of all places, and her mother comes in looking for her, and she's confronted by Willona. So these two women, Jenny DeVos and Chip Fields, are at the top of their game as far as actress at this height. Jenny DeVos was responsible for all of these things that were coming after. If we look at the Jefferson Show, that's her. You understand what I'm saying? Singing on there at the beginning and the end, they're both at their height. Chip Fields makes sure that her daughters was going to get some money in this industry. You understand? From a writing perspective, from an acting perspective, and from a director perspective. Even so, still to this day, her family is in the industry, and they came up. But she had to suffer the brunt force of a typecast representation in order for them to do it. So I wanted to, get your thoughts on this clip because I had y'all in mind in regards to the contrasts that are being shown. And before I play this clip, I want y'all to know Dr. Oyama is here because for years, she gave us that yardstick and say, hey, look, we talking all this stuff about the Black family and nation building. We don't really love our children like we say we do. So I just had to make that very clear. For years, she's been reminding us and holding us to task very critically in regards to these things that we say that we do. And Mama Nkoyo, she do it the same way, but she do it with a little bit like she's like, all right, baby, go on, sit down. Go on, sit down. Go on, sit down, have a seat. It's all right. I know you're a little slow, baby. Just go on, have a seat. The contrast is great, and the subject matter is even greater because our children's minds and hearts are at stake, and our enemies are locked in on perpetuating negative self-talk and negative imagery towards our families. So I'm gonna be quiet, and I'm going to put this clip up here to the part that I wanted to, kind of start with, and then we go from there. Is that okay?
Ashe.
Yeah, tell somebody to tell somebody we here live, okay? Well, I don't get moments like this all the time. You understand what I'm saying? I see it. I'm in the audience with y'all, so this is a rare occasion. So we need a lot of folks up in here. Tell somebody to tell somebody. If y'all like me, I don't care. But the matriarchs is here. Y'all love them, okay? Y'all love them, and I love them too. So come on, tell somebody to tell somebody we up in
here. Business, so just. But she isn't here. Where's who? You know who. Penny.
All right, so I just want to set the clip up real quick. She's coming in looking for her daughter, and you can see the mothering aspect that's there, and then it begins to taper off in regards to real motivation. So I think that.
All right, where is she?
Where's who?
You know who. Penny. She's run away. Thank God. But she isn't here. Who are you trying to kid? Where else would she go?
But
Hey, wait, where do you think you're going? Look, this is none of your business, so just butt out. Butt out? Honey, I ain't started butting in yet. Now, you listen to me. You just get out of my way, because I'm going to look in those bedrooms.
Hey, wait a minute. You can't come barging in somebody's house and looking in their bedroom.
I can if they're hiding my kid in there. Ain't nobody hiding your kid.
Can we pause real quick, Brother Knowledge Born? And do you mind, like, throughout the clip, if we could pause and kind of build
please.
on things?
Yes.
The first thing that I thought about when I watched this is when she said, "But out of this is none of your business," right? We got to get back to understanding that whatever happens within the community, right? And we know that families are a network of communities. That's what a community is, right? We got to understand that whatever goes down in the community is our business. So if a child is in your home being abused, it is my business, right? And so we got to go back to the whole concept of it takes a village to raise a child. We got to get back to that. Get back to one of those African core philosophies or values, right? Because that's the first thing that stood out. Which it's none of your business. Yeah, it is my business. If this is a child in my community, yes, you abusing this child is ultimately my business. And so, Mama Nkoyo, that's what that's the first thing I caught right here. So she's barging in, and first of all, you don't barge in somebody's home, but you're barging in somebody's home. You're looking for your child that you are abusing. And then they're like, well, wait a minute, what you barging up in here for? And then this none of your business. I'm coming to get my child. No, this is my business. Anything that is happening within the family and the community is everybody's business. That's why, and I'll land my plane in one sec, Mama and Nkoyo. That's why I remember my son Isaiah, the middle boy. He got upset because he said to me one time, it seems like when I get in trouble, everybody knows about it. And what he means by everybody, he's talking about the core village, right? He said not everybody in the community, but the core village, they know about it. So I said, when you do things right or wrong, the core village should know about it. I'm not just going to share all the good stuff, with the village that you do. I'm also going to share some of those challenging times that I have with you, with the core village, so that they can intervene and they can talk to you. So it's not about ratting you out or just exposing you. This is about the fact that we are a community. And yes, what goes on, that remember they used to say what goes on in my house stays in my house. That was one of the worst rules, worst philosophies that we could have adopted. No. What goes on in our house is everybody connected to it. That's everybody's business. That's everybody's business. It's not just because a lot of children have gotten abused behind that. Gotten molested. What goes on in my house? No. It's everybody's business. And by everybody, I'm talking about the community. I land my plane, Mama Nkoyo.
I say, no, I can't. I agree with everything that you're stating. I thought the same, that I totally believe that the community, its business is its business, if that makes sense. Everybody in the community, your business is our business when it comes to stepping out of line. Now, don't get me wrong, you're not everything, but when it comes to stepping out of line, caring for the children, caring for the community, I believe that it's all our business. And you are absolutely right. I hated that line about what goes on in this house stays in this house. It was a huge marker and a huge umbrella where a lot of people got abused, including myself, because you can't tell anyone. You can't tell anyone that's not their business. So let's definitely move further, but I agree wholeheartedly, and I'm just so interested as well because I noticed the energy that Walona brings her as well, and I'm gonna talk about that. You see how she's automatically, her guard is up, and I understand her guard is up because of Penny, because of the the abuse that Penny took. But once we get deeper into the conversation, then I'm gonna speak on also her attitude and energy towards Sister Chip. Did we ever find out her name? What's her name on the show? What's her character name?
The one in the ground?
Yeah,
Lynella. Okay,
yeah.
Thank you, Lynella. Okay, thank you.
And look at Thelma's posture.
Yeah,
One
she
of the
ready to
things
fight. She
that
ready.
Bernadette Sanders said, who plays this character, was she had to go to Esther Roll and say, "I have more to say on this show." So JJ goes to the bathroom in the part of the scene, and he brings out her things because this is where they had her. They just had her as eye candy and mute,
Right.
and she's
Right.
taking hours in the bathroom. So she went
Right.
to Esther Roll and said, "I have more to say." So they were at a table meeting read, and Esther said, "My daughter has something to say." So from that meeting, after that meeting, subsequently, she gets to design her character, she said. She gets to say
So
where her character stands. Now, if Esther Roll didn't intervene, because this is basically her show, and she said she wouldn't do it without a husband, right?
right.
So, and then, they handpicked the children, that's the other backdrop. But her posture is consistent with her character development and her stance. You see what I'm saying? She's an intelligent
Okay.
black woman who's preyed on most of this series. So it went from her not saying anything to her being over sexualized, glamorized, and all of those things. That was one of
Right.
the reasons why the character James Evans Sr. was taken out of the film. He treated her like his real daughter. So now if we're looking at Hollywood and Norman Lear and all of them, this is the people who benefited from black exploitation. So this is
Right.
Pam Grier energy that they're putting on this young girl. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
her having a strong stance and her with her own mind and speaking her own thoughts. She might have went back and forth with her brother, clowning or whatever, but she was very serious about how she moved and how she was presented. So
I
keep
sure.
on going.
I sure. Good backdrop.
Oh yeah.
Like gooses, settle it down.
And he's supposed to be the voice of reason when he was just clowning a few seconds ago. You understand what I'm saying? So an effeminate clown is the acceptable representation of the black man. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So the sharp contrast from his father was serious. His father wasn't about no business. You understand what I'm saying? So he was about taking care of his family and doing what was necessary to make sure. So he had a contrast of a soft compliment. Esther Roll was soft with him and the voice of reason for him because she knew how to deal with him. So it was a lot of that was going on. But this is the heir to the throne. This is Junior. He doesn't have another name. He's James Evan Jr. So they just called him JJ, but it's James Evan Jr. So this is the prototype, the firstborn, right? So
Right.
he's here in this sense, trying to make sense out of something that don't make no sense. But at the same time, look at his posture. He's not. He called them gooses, and he over there cackling. He was just cackling. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying? So,
Right.
yeah.
I am not leaving here until I get my child.
In that case, I'll help you look for her. And we'll see how small you feel when she's not in here. For instance.
Henny.
Or in here, which happens to be a porcelain facility where, as you can see, there are nothing but Thelma's unmentionables hanging in their usual place all over.
So this wasn't necessary, right? But it's still necessary in the buck breaking situation. He didn't need to come out. He just was the voice of reason, and he was supposed to be the one that's guiding this along in the process. And this is how he comes out of the bathroom. And this is the place I told you that they had Thelma spending most of her time. She's not interacting, right? She's not really interacting. And, the shift goes in regards to that. But she has a mothering energy. She has an authoritative figure energy, but then they give her the defects. She's always in the bathroom. Oh, she can't cook. You understand what I'm saying? Like all of these other little things where they got it. But she's prey for many of the predators that are revealed in this show. Even Walona's love interest.
drawers, you fool.
Or you can see she's not hiding under here.
All right, don't be funny. Maybe I was wrong. It's obvious she's not here.
Hey, wait a minute now. Don't quit on me now. Just when I'm starting to get warm. We haven't checked in the closet yet.
Look, would you stop him?
JD, the woman's leaving.
Not until she's seen everything. On second thought, maybe she has seen everything.
Look, I'm sorry I barged in the way I did.
We accept your apologies. Here's your dog.
Her demeanor is completely different, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So from the vantage point, I just want to ask you both real quick. When she came in, was there a space or air of genuine concern of looking for her daughter for mother's sake, or for I don't want my secret to get out that I'm abusing this child?
I think it was both. But go ahead, Mama.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna agree. Yeah, I think it was both.
Yeah, I think it was both. You know, like you said, coming in as a mother, I want to know where my child is. And then that
part.
fear of being exposed, right? Because with being
Right.
exposed comes, judgment, it comes shame,
Right.
accountability,
Absolutely.
and so a
Absolutely.
lot of people don't want to be exposed. That's why you got what goes on in my house, stay in my house, because you're scared that you're going to be exposed, that what's happening in
Right.
here is going to be exposed, and you're fearful of being judged. Fearful of being held accountable for what is happening in your household.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it was both, Brother Knowledge Born.
Okay. If y'all remember Jenny DeBose playing in 5 on the Black Hand Side,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
this is before this. So this is like a sharp contrast to her character. She's like the neighborhood gossip lady in this series, but she was
Right.
a strong advocate for Black family and wisdom, and a voice of wisdom and a voice of power in 5 on the Black Hand Side. So if you look at
Right.
the contrast in between, so it's like she's there kind of in both roles right now. You see what I'm saying? So she laughed when she first came in, and as this progresses, you see that other side, this Stormy Daniels character side.
Just 1 minute. I got something I gotta say.
No, you don't, Wilona.
Honey, I don't know what your problem is, but I've seen enough of Penny to know what her problem is. It's you. I don't have to hang around and listen to this.
That's right, you don't.
I heard of a group called Parents Anonymous, and it's like a lot of people get together with the same problem that you have, and they help each other.
Was that so?
Yeah.
Well, you listen, Miss High.
Pause that right there, Knowledge Born.
Right.
Pause that
Right.
for me, because I wanted to talk here about the importance of what she's offering. So in this show, they're talking about Parent Anonymous. I just wanted to say here that parents need community too, right? You know how we say,
Absolutely.
oh, it takes a village to raise a child, and emphasis on a child. Parents need help too. Parents need to be nurtured by other parents, right? And getting
Right.
parental advice from other parents. So
Yeah.
I love that she even offered her, hey, we had this group called Parent Anonymous that allows you to come in and share, and people who have problems just like you, and you get to share. That is important. And I'm not sure of any current institutions in our community that parents, if I'm making sense, that actually helps to support parents, right? And helps
Right.
parents develop as parents. A lot of the times,
Right.
Mama, we have like the baby shower, and we'll show up with gifts. Everybody show up,
Mhm.
congratulations, to the dad and to the mom, and we're just like, congratulations. But then what about after that? Is there any type of institution? And if there's not, we need to create it, but an institution that actually teaches parents how to parent. A huge problem in our community is bad parenting. People want to talk about, violence. They want to talk about drugs, and we want to talk about miseducation. A huge
Mhm.
a huge issue in our community is piss poor parenting, or you might as well say not parenting at all. You got some people that are not parenting at all. And I don't think
Right.
that a lot of us really understand what it means to parent. And I'm getting ready to land my plane. I'm thinking about Bob Emotep Fatiul, how he talks about to parent means to cultivate. What are you cultivating? And he said parenting is intentional, right? So you're cultivating, meaning you're developing, but it's also an intentional act. What am I intentionally trying to cultivate, right? And the end goal should always be to assist our kids, our children, in reaching their optimum development. That's the end goal, right? Bringing out that greatness that's already inside of them so that they can reach their optimum development. That is the end goal for, or the objective of a parent. I land my plane.
Ashe, and I want to say that when looking at this, sister, you're right. We need support instead of, and that's the one going to be one of my biggest criticisms of Walona, and it's constructive criticism, is that she didn't give her that empathy. We have to understand that everyone's from their experience has lived their life from how their experience and the resources and tools that they were given. And with Thelma showing that empathy, that was a good balance, which I love, because she was at least trying to give her those tools. And a lot of times, Penny's mama didn't have a lot of tools, and the tools she had, she was misusing them because she had never been taught any better. She was emulating what she received, what she saw. So I love how that Thelma was trying to offer her that. However, I know her ego, which and the little person, the little girl in her that has been beat up because it felt vulnerable. If I accept and say, yes, I need some help, then they're going to look at me as weak. I'm going to be this and this and this. So she immediately put that wall up and say, well, excuse you. And so that's, yeah. So, but I love, however, I love that Thelma offered that. And you given the backdrop of Thelma born, I love how this is showing that she's mature and she has a say and that she has a voice. And that voice was of empathy in this situation. As we move further in it, you will definitely see it. So I don't want to stay too long on that, but yes, I agree.
She was a victim.
Absolutely.
She was a victim, right? Absolutely. She was a victim that was victimized, and now she becomes the abuser. The abused becomes an abuser, because this is how generationally her being a child and making mistakes was dealt with.
Right.
One of the quickest ways to get sent out of your home and be a family disgrace is you came back here pregnant. That was one of those prayers. They were saying, don't you bring no babies back to this house. I ain't raising no babies.
Yep.
That kind of situation, right? Perpetually. So now, Walona points at her and says, she's the problem. The problem is you. She indicts her, right? And she doesn't build the bridge, even though she had a similar experience with her own life. So she's echoing the sentiments of the indictment of white America on Black people. She's echoing the writing room's sentiments that they have in lines where it's supposed to be some sort of education. And, when I play it and she does what she does, I want you to hear what the crowd reaction is to what she's saying.
Start clapping.
Absolutely. And before you say that, it is really important. You're right. She did echo those sentiments, and she didn't understand that community mothering is revolutionary. Yes, you're looking out for Penny, but help mother her as well. Don't look at her as, like I said, you're the problem. Look at, like Thelma did, what can we do to help you?
That's right.
As I help her, let me help you, because I know you love your baby. So I know you just not intentionally just doing, treating her, being negligent and abusing her. Let me see what it is that you need help with, so that we can soften that blow. So yeah, go ahead before I go into my diatribe.
And they're twins. They're twins of one another. The reason why Walona hangs around the Evans family, because that's a family. So she comes there to get fed. She comes there to get fed.
Yes, sir.
She might come there and impart some of the gossip, but she loves the family. This is a family that she longed for ever since she was 16 years old. The difference between them two is she was 16 giving birth to a child. She was 16 as a child. So as much as she would say, she still had the chance to be a child. She didn't have a chance to be a child. She had to be an adult who was victimized. So
Right.
Soapbox here and stop trying to save me. What do you know about me anyway? Any of you? We know one thing. You've been using that child as a punching bag. That child? Is that all you can talk about is that child? What about me? You think it's easy raising that kid without a father? Big deal.
Stop. For this, I'm gonna do Dr. Mott real quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
You know, first of all, she said, "Stop trying to save me. Who are you?" And again, with that shame, she already feels shamed. Like, who are you? Why are you trying to save me? And who says that you're, it was all in who says you're better than me. And again, because of the energy that Walona is always giving her, it's like, I don't feel this is a safe space. I don't. And then even though Thelma was giving her that, but again, they're Walona's community. They're not my community. So my back is against the wall. I'm always, I'm the victim. And then they're trying to act like they're trying to, there's a shame there. And then when she said, I know that you're the problem and you putting your hands and abusing, and then she said, well, what about me? And I felt that. And this is a thing that as a young girl being abused and being neglected, I guess this is the God in me, is that I would try to see the issues and the negligence that my grandmother, my aunties, my mama, my daddy had, even in the midst being neglected. And so it made me be more empathetic. And I say that even though I'm going to try to, as soon as I can, and have the power to remove myself from this shit, excuse my language, this, I am going to, I still understand they had their own, and it was easier for me to forgive and to move on and to love them from the space where they were, because I understood they had their own and they're working from generational trauma, and they passed that generational trauma to me. So therefore I am the one that I'm going to say, I'm breaking that trauma. That generational trauma will stop with me, because I overstood, instead of continually perpetuating and said, you did this, you allowed this. What are we going to do to stop it from being taken on? Because like we say, hurt people hurt people. The victim becomes the victimizer. I was not going to do that any longer. I know I did it until I was able to really figure it out. I perpetuated a lot of those things. But not as deeply. And when once I got it. So her saying, what about me? We have to recognize where the hurt comes from. Right. And Penny wasn't in that trouble right now. So that was a time for them to really open up to her and rally around her and try to figure out what it is they can do, instead of just steadily pinning it down. So Mama, you can go, and then we can move on with the video.
Yeah, and then when no, you good. You on fire. And then another thing I caught, and you all can correct me if I'm wrong. She says something like, "I didn't grow up with a father." And it's like, big deal. Did I just? Yeah, I didn't grow up with a father. Yes. And she's like, big deal. Like basically, like, okay, so as if that's okay, or as if having fathers, particularly black fathers, because she's black, right? Like that's not important. Like having a black father. It's like, well, I didn't grow up with a father. Yeah, it actually, and Brother Knowledge Born, you dropped that stat before we went live, where you talked about how girls who grow up with a father are less likely to be promiscuous when they get older, right? And we can throw out other stats. There's another stat that says that, I think that when you don't have a black father in the home, you're like 200% more likely to be molested or sexually violated, right? So it's a lot of stats that show, or that highlights, the importance of black fathers being in the home. But we see here in this scene, it was dismissed. When she said, I didn't grow up with a father, it was like, big deal, whatever, as if growing up with a black father is irrelevant. The reason why I keep saying black father is because clearly she's black, but growing up, but it's not important. It's unimportant. Right. So that's another thing I wanted to point out.
Yes. And with her saying that as well, Dr. Ma, definitely, that's a great point. And you're definitely right as for the black fathers being absent. And I also got the dismissiveness from her, as though, so what, I did. So I'm here. Look at me. It's kind of like when we get it from a lot of people, even, black bourgeoisie, or those who got it out the mud, as they say. I did it. Pull yourself by the bootstraps. Pull yourself up by the bootstrap. No, everyone's not the same. And that's what I got from her with those hands crossed. She's very defensive. She's not trying to help. She's not trying to understand. She's not trying to be empathetic. She just wants to tell her voice and tell her off and tell her how you can't tell me any of your problems, and I'm going to be empathetic with it and sympathetic and say, yeah, okay, I feel you. I got it. And that's the energy I didn't like in this mode with Walona, definitely. And I get that. We get that a lot from the upper echelon, the woke community, or whatever it is. We get that from a lot of the elders, or from the just people on the outside not understanding and giving that empathy to people and looking further past those circumstances at the moment.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Warren.
Absolutely.
See, the dynamic again is the writing room, and as soon as you said Black Father, Dr. Baba Amin showed up. You understand? So it's like you summoned them. You know what I mean? So you see backstage. I'm gonna bring him on in 1 second. This is the writing room again. The writing room, and Mama Nkoyo, you and Baba spoke about this so eloquently in Fly yesterday. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
once you let outsiders in, they get a hold of that. I want to save that for sentence because that was a big theme that y'all brought up yesterday. Once you let the outsiders in, they're going to devour you. So she's there. Nobody lives in suburbia, Chicago. Everybody's in this building. Everybody's there. This is government housing. This is Section 8. This is low income. They're there on a voucher. They live next door to each other. You understand what I'm saying? So her mind is like, quit trying to save me. Right?
Yeah.
So she's talking about the governmental program, not just her giving this suggestion. She's talking about, this is the white savior complex. They come in, just give them a program, or just give them a community center. You understand what I'm saying? Just throw some money at it, but not addressing the underlying thing. So these are outsiders. Again, like that was my main foundational point about it. These are outsiders writing about the Black experience from the outside, not from the inside. And we're acting out their script. We're acting out their script, and we got to tug of war with one another, and we're trying to see who could do the best job at the script that's given to us. You understand what I'm saying? Absolutely. So, mother to mother here in this sense, but Black woman, it's a total indictment. They're looking at Thelma, they're looking at her, and they're looking at her. You understand what I'm saying? So they're trying to figure out which one is the good one. You understand? Like you're not like the rest of them. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So this space is the writing room interjecting their ideas via their mouth.
So we're looking at from all those spaces. Okay, I feel you. Yes,
Chipfield's mother, the mother, Lynella, says the same thing that Monique says in Precious to Mariah Carey. Who's going to be there for me? What about me? Who's going to love me? She even said, I can't keep a man with Penny around. I can't keep a man with Penny around. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not just a situation where the government is coming in pushing out Black men. The perpetual cycle of you trying to get somebody to love you for you. And it's hard to do being a single mother type of situation. So now you're resenting your child and resenting that aspect of yourself. So these are all perpetual things that are happening simultaneously at the same time. Before I push the button, let me get my twin brother. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all was talking about twins, and then we doing all this twin energy. Okay, Gemini season is coming up. Taurus, y'all just got started. We give you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? The Gemini twin, my twin brother coming up in here. You understand what I'm saying? So my BJ is up in here. You understand? Co-founder of one of the greatest African center schools in history. Our brother Baba Amin. Ojiro.
I say
peace.
We definitely got the Ojiro special up in here.
What's up, Baba? Peace and love to you.
What's going on, Dr. Mahad?
Hey, ain't nothing, Baba. Ain't nothing to do
with it. There was a family meeting going on today. What's happening?
Family affair.
To it, but to do it.
That's it.
Heard it was a family gathering up in here. And y'all talking about good times? I got good times pulled up.
Yeah.
Right. And if I remember the same family, same squad, everybody I'm looking at on the screen was up in arms about the reboot of Good Times, if I ain't mistaken. Like, hey, take
Oh
that
yeah,
off
oh
the
yeah,
air.
yeah,
yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah.
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 It's
They could
Right.
have
We're
burnt
not
this
gonna
one
do
too. They
that.
could have burnt them both together in the same fire. We was never supposed to know nothing about this. You understand? But the wanting representation comes with a cost when you are not doing the representation. You're not in charge of it. You don't have any operational control of it. So you're
absolutely
being controlled by it. And like, oh, well, you said you wanted to see
right.
something. Here you go.
Right here you
This is
go.
what
Here
we
you
think
go.
of you. This is what we think of you. You understand? Like,
And I just want to shout out CMOTAP, right? The committee to eliminate media offensive to African people, because they're still boycotting Netflix. And so they literally just outside of, I don't know if it was Madison Square Gardens. I think they were down there. It may have been the big center, the Barclays Center. They may have been down there, but I know they were literally just out there protesting, and they've been consistent. So shout out to Dr. McIntosh and Nana Betty, who've been leading this boycott against Netflix because of the reboot of Good Times.
I say.
Gotta salute them.
I say. So I see this is post John Amos Good Times right here, you know.
Right.
Right. And I'm not even sure Esther Rose. It's the season Esther when Mama was gone, man.
Yes.
Well, that was later. That was later on. She was still around, but she was teetering back and forth. You know,
right.
When the quote unquote atheist character black man came up in there, she was like, "Yeah, I'm up out of here. I gotta go. Like y'all doing way too much now."
Right.
So she's gone, and they kind of held the reins between each other, between Walona and Delma.
Right. Because I know they had a lot to do with, you know, policing the authenticity of the script and the writing and that sort of thing. And as Lear and his people got more and more comfortable, you know, they figured out how we're going to edge that out and bring in more of a black image of black people that's more white liberal leaning, opposed to, you know.
Yeah, Michael Evans. The actual guy, Michael Evans, is really responsible for the show. You see what I'm saying? So this is why the son's named Michael, the young militant, because Michael Evans was the young militant pushing again for representation. So you wanted to see yourself aside from blaxploitation, because this is fresh off the blaxploitation era as far as the television show, but the movies, you know, and they were in the background that came from that Jewish show Maud. They came from Maud to here. So again, they didn't show you where you lived at, but you was working in, you know, in the big house. You understand? You was working in the big house. You was good enough to work in the big house, and his name was Henry at the time. You know, he was driving the cab. So he was driving the cab like Archie Bunker was driving the cab, but Archie Bunker had a house with an upstairs where his family could stay.
Sure did.
And they're on the Section 8 voucher from a gift from a quote-unquote corrupt politician that helped them get into this place. And at any time, he could come in, withdraw that voucher, and they would have to go. So these effects are... Go ahead, Bob.
No, I'll just say that's heavy. A lot of times you forget about the background stories and the plot.
Right.
Because
the Jeffersons were their neighbors. They lived in the neighborhood with the bunkers.
Came from Archie Bunker,
Right. So they're their neighbors, and then they moved to this high rise. So you see the difference where George had to own all these cleaners for Weezy not to work. Edith ain't never worked nowhere. She ain't even think about working nowhere.
No.
And they had a house.
Yeah, they had a house.
With grown folk living up in
grown
there.
Folks in it. Right.
And Archie drove a cab and he worked at that factory. But guess what? By the end of the show, he owned the bar down the street that he used to go drink at.
Yep.
So these are the games that they play. So they went from that Archie Bunker situation to the Married with Children situation, because these are all of the people who were the children of the Norman Lear effect. The Tom Werner and Marcy Carsey, who was there with the Cosby Show and all the rest of those shows. They're in the background supervising, looking, and they created Roseanne and all of those other characters. So they had a very big hand, but with small words in regards to what was seen in this perpetual cycle of cinematic assault. So from cinematic assault to cinematic redemption, do you really think your own thoughts? Do you really see yourself the way you're supposed to see yourself, or how the script is telling you to via action? So these are the things I'm discussing in volume 6, Voices of the Diaspora.
Good stuff.
Reclaiming our narratives to empower our Black minds. So reclaiming our narratives, taking our narratives back, and giving a academic analysis with practical application on our experience. And I know Ed May Productions and the Hulu Academy does this every day. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, we want to give credence and light to the attack, recognizing it's an attack, but not being victimizing it, utilizing it as a improper propaganda tool and converting it to a proper propaganda tool of analysis to be able to go with it. So.
And I want to point out and pose the question: is this, has it become? And I guess I should speak from what I believe. That I believe that these narratives that were painted has become. It's gone from art. Let me see how I want to say it. Life, it's gone from supposedly art imitating life to life imitating the art, because now these are the things that we are up against that are perpetuated, or that's prevalent, not even perpetuated, that's prevalent in our community. It wasn't then as much as it is now, because like you said, that narrative's been spun out there in so many different ways that now we think that this is how Black people are, this is how we supposed to live, this is how we supposed to respond, this is how we supposed to interact with one another. So now we're doing it just based off of this narrative that we've been fed. I was watching something real quick, and I think it was something Queen's Court or something. It was somebody in Nivea, and I don't know how I got on it, but it was a comedian, a British comedian sister that was on there, and they were talking about the image that a lot of the Black Britons and the Black Europeans, what they have of us, the Black Americans. And she was saying that I can't be ghetto because there's no ghettos in Britain. And they were like, shut the F up. That's wrong. There are ghettos in Britain. There, you got the bricks, you got this. But she was like, I'm nothing like you guys. And the images that we were fed was based off of who was in Miami Vice, or who was over here in this, and who was all these negative images, or who watching Boys in the Hood. These were the images that they knew they saw of us. And so when you say that, it just brought that back to mind, that these narratives have been perpetuated more than just us. They've been fed to just more than just us, but they've been fed to others globally. And so now we are actually, when they come see us, a lot of us look like what they saw on TV. And so it's that dynamic has been turned around. So that's my spiel on that. I just was thinking about that, how it's become reality for a lot of us. It's reality.
You see the mental, emotional, and physical exhaustion that's on her being, right? And if you go back to Claudine, the movie that everybody loves so much with Diane Carroll and James Earl Jones, when Diane Carroll sits down at the table with those children after going out on that date, the interrogation that she went through, I'm like, look at this writer's room again. There's no way in the world. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
thank you.
Penny had a knot on her head. You understand what I'm saying? With that band-aid. Under that band-aid, she had a sneak knot. Those children at the table talking to each other, grown folk, like, with the vulgarity of all that thing that's happening right in front of their mama. If we was cutting up, we cut up in quiet, off over
in private, boo.
She's sitting right there, front row center, looking at these children, and these children like, yo, you better be having no babies with him. I ain't trying to take care of no other N-words, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm like, huh? So this scene becomes jarring and damaging, but this becomes a perpetual cycle. She's staunch with her in this scene, but when that welfare lady comes to the house, she is very meek and very proper and prim and very walking on eggshells. You understand what I'm saying? No different than when the welfare lady came and James Earl Jones' character's hiding in the closet. All of these things all together in regards to this, and how indicting she is with her, and then the real causality of the problem is very kick gloves type of situation in regards to that. So I think it's very timely, putting these things together because black exploitation saved Hollywood. Hollywood was going bankrupt. So that fuel that again, representation again. So the black power dynamic versus the pimp dynamic. So you got both of these things happening in the undercurrent of the gang culture. They're in Chicago. You see what I'm saying? So the Black Panther Party for self-defense, with Fred Hampton Sr., peace and blessings be upon him, and all of those people, but they're also contrast to Satan's Knights and all of the they didn't shy away from gang culture in this TV series either, along with these other predatory things that are happening. So you got a black family living in this environment with all of these angst and all these things gotta go. Dr. Ma, I know you gotta go. I'm mindful of the time. So final remarks, acknowledgments, where people can find you and collaborate.
Oh no, I said I got 10 more minutes. I just wanted to let you know in the back chat.
I need all of 10 minutes, so I'm gonna be quiet.
Yes.
I need all of them.
Raised without a father. My mother didn't go upside my head. Well, then you were lucky, baby. Because my family went upside, downside, and across mine. I've had to scuffle all my life. Honey, you don't own the rights or the patent on scuffling.
Pause this.
Yeah.
This is what you were talking about earlier, Mama, when you said the lack of empathy. But go ahead, share your thoughts first.
No, you go ahead. You got to go. Go ahead.
I don't know. I just thought about when I heard that. I just saw the contrast. It's like, well, I grew up like this. Well, I grew up like that. And just seeing how the way we grow up, right? Our family dynamics, it does shape our perception. So you saw how she didn't have empathy because she's like, I didn't grow up like that. And she's telling her, well, I grew up like this. So they're going back and forth.
Right.
And we clearly are looking at, like Niles Bourne said, we're looking at contrast, right? So this family reared Thelma in a particular way. And then, her family, and what's the one in the jacket? What's her name? What's
Vanilla.
her name? Huh? You said Vanilla?
Did you say Vanilla? Is that what you said? Yeah.
Lanella. So her family read her in a certain way, and we see that playing out with their exchange. And so I just kind of wanted to add that we clearly see how their perceptions, the worldview was definitely shaped by their upbringing. And so I just
neither is wrong. You're right.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they're not stopping to see one another. They're just
that
wanting
part
to be heard, and that's what we have, and that's where our dynamics got to break down with communication. They want to be heard.
But you just hit the hammer on the nail when you said they both don't see each other. They can't see each other, and we see that in the moment.
Right. I sure.
And they got the same type of fight, the same type of determination. They're the same person. You see what I'm saying?
And they both love Penny.
Because of we are.
Right.
The difference is she had a child at 16 and she was by herself since she was 16.
Right.
So both of them are victims. Both of them are victimized by, this family system that they're tug of warring back and forth with. They're both victims. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, so all of this space in regards to what it is, and you see the ferociousness in her eyes. And they really got a love and respect for each other, but they can't put that on the screen in the midst of this because they're acting, they're in a role, they're playing that role. So,
what stands out is the inability to put Penny in the center.
Right.
Because that's where in this scenario in real life, where you'd have to find common ground. What Rona's trying to say is, or what an empathy would say is, I get that. I understand where you're coming from. However, there's a cycle that needs to be broken. Let's look at how this is impacting Penny. And bring the child back into the center, which is one of our issues in our community now. We have such a hard time bringing our children and our future into the center of our conversation, rather than keeping it on our personal egos and that sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? Bringing our future into the center. And that's what's not happening in this conversation right here.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Very intentionally, as far as the writers are concerned.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Very intentionally.
Everybody wins when the family feud.
you're playing on this rift between Black mentalities, as far as, you know, Black people who are trying to have dignity in their poverty, and Black people who are traumatized in their poverty and saying, man, I'm gonna do whatever I got to do to scratch and make it.
Right.
You know? And then you got the Black folks that say, well, no, I'm gonna do my food stamps honest, and I'm gonna work hard. And say, if you work hard, you can get it, you can make it, you know. And so, you know, you see this dynamic playing out right here too.
Ashe.
When they was about to get evicted and they was taking that furniture out there, James went to that pool hall and came back with that rent money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Delma said, Mama ain't gonna like you got that from gambling. So he set up a little thing with one of the men that was with Fat Albert in the gang. He came in there like, oh, you hit the number. So hitting the number was more acceptable than him being in the pool hall, right? They're like, oh, yo, this is great. So she go back over there to that picture of white Jesus and say, oh, you know, thank you, you know, for the family and blah, blah, blah. And thank you for that 3-corner bank shot. Because she know how her man went and got that money. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, we live in
she know how that her man went and got that money. So that contrast right there.
Yeah, we live in a capitalist society that says the ends justify the means. I mean, this country was built on enslaved labor. You know what I'm saying? The ends justify the means, you know, and it's hard to be impoverished in this country and to maintain some sort of morality when you know the people who have exploited you, or the people who have a lot at the top, don't have any morality. They're not reflections of the values that you're being taught. So you get to a certain age where say, wait a minute, y'all just teach me to play fair so I can't get nothing.
Right.
Y'all not teach me to play fair because it is fair. Y'all teach me to play fair so you can cheat.
Facts,
you know
Baba.
And that's when you get in the hood and you're like, man, the ends justify the means. We about to do what we got to do, and just finding that balance without destroying ourselves is a challenge.
Ashe. And she about to identify with this next scene. I think with this next part. So.
Okay.
Well, that's fine for you. Because when you were 16, you didn't have to worry about nobody but yourself. Me, when I was 16, I was pregnant, and I didn't have a dime. With a man that ran off and left before Penny was even born. That happens every day in a week. You could have done something about it.
Ooh,
what?
You said that happens every day in the week. Like, again, the writing room getting real busy, right?
Dismissive.
Yes.
You could have did something about it. You could have pulled yourself up by the bootstrap. You could have went to one of these programs. You could have. And they're in Cabrini Green having this discussion. They're not on Wall Street having this discussion. In some corporate boardroom having this discussion. They're in a space abstract poverty, quote unquote, and this is the discussion that they're having, and there's no other outside space even named with any kind of vehement or no enmity, no malice, no nothing. It's localized between two people, two sisters.
Something, sister, I did do something.
She ain't say B word. I did do something. She said sister.
Yeah, she's
There's still an appeal. There's still an appeal. I need you to understand. I need you to see me. Baba, you was talking about they don't see each other. I need you to see me because you talking like, don't talk to me like them. Talk to me like me.
Right.
Lonely when our white woman
carried that baby and I made a for myself at the same time. And I wanted
because she see her own trauma. And that's what she's confronting. She got her arm folded in this defensive posture
whole time.
She sees herself.
She
sees herself, and she knows she's like one instance away from being in the same shoes she was at 16.
Then also she's thinking about the child. She's already created a relationship with Penny. So and she didn't have a baby at an early age and that sort of thing. And so she doesn't have that same empathy. She doesn't really know what Penny's mama has gone through, but I'm closed right now because I've looked in the eyes of that baby, and I just want the baby. I just want that. I want it for myself. Nothing you say, and I don't have a child. I'm lonely. I want your baby.
That's what I was about to say. Born, y'all spit this. She had a reason for that, for trying to separate it. She wanted that baby for herself, and I mean, is she right or wrong, y'all? But
That's the same thing for sinners, right? We're gonna get to that in a second. That's the same. That's the
yeah.
foundational theme for sinners, aside from everything else that's there. So
Come
that's
on.
the theme. They
Let's
they
go.
wanted the boy. Give us the boy. We'll leave y'all. We'll let y'all live. That's it.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
we
it.
we want it. Yeah, that was it.
But when the baby was born, what did she do for me, huh? What did she do for me? Nothing.
Nothing, she said. What you trying?
I think she made you a mother, but really that's the mentality. Is sadly, I'm not going to say whether it's prevalent or not, but you do have some parents who think that knowledge more said it is prevalent. You do have some parents who feel like their children owe them. You know what I mean? Like, when they get old, you're supposed to. And I've even seen this play out in my own family. I won't get too personal, too deep, but I've seen it play out in my own family where the children grow up, and I'm thinking about a particular set of cousins. The one cousin, she's in her 40s. Her son is in his early 20s, middle 20s. And now he's on his feet, he's doing well. And it's like, well, you're my child. I carried you, so I should have access to your bank account. You're my child and I carried you. So you should be giving me money. And I've been saying, and I'm always the bad person in the family. I've been saying, well, look, I think that would be nice if he helped you out, but he doesn't owe you that, right? Like it would be great. Like if, let's talk about the concept of reciprocity. Yes, you pour into the children, into your family, you cultivate them. Like I said, you pour into them, you're committed to them. It's great that they grow up and say, okay, yes, I value family, I value community. Let me pour something back in, whether it's money, whether it's love, whether it's time, whether it's energy. That's great. But at the end of the day, your children don't owe you anything, right? Like they don't. I don't feel like they owe you money, like they, she said, what did she do for me? It's kind of that expectation. Like this is the child. She needs to do something for me because I birthed her and brought her here, and I necessarily don't agree. I don't agree with that mindset. Like, because I brought you here and I provided you with food, clothing, and shelter. Now you're supposed to do this for me. You got to do something for me. And, I think that children definitely should respect your parents, love your parents, listen to your parents, and contribute to the household. Absolutely. The maintenance of the household, whether it's chores, whether it's that. Yes, absolutely. But in terms of like thinking like your children owe you, they're indebted to you for some reason, I don't agree with that mentality.
Now, if you are raising them with that communal mindset and with the mindset that they have a legacy to uphold, and that with that mindset that they have a duty to the family as a whole, then they're going to automatically do it. I'm going to want to pour back in and pour. This is my duty, but to expect it, like you said, but to expect it just because you gave birth, nah.
Exactly.
Nah.
But people, but mama, people have that I gave birth to you. I'm your mother. You supposed to do. It's like, nah. But I agree 1,000% with you. Like you gotta, if you develop them and bring them up in community and teach them that they have it, then like you said, they'll automatically do it anyway.
Absolutely.
Thanks for bringing that up, mama.
All right, so we're gonna.
I'm just checking what's the time, Dr. Maya? Are you?
No, go ahead, Knowledge Boy. Go ahead. I'm trying to get. Look, I do want to get through this clip. I may not be able to stay for the bill for sinners, but I do want to stay for this clip.
Absolutely.
I can't keep a man on the count of penny. If it wasn't for all the time needing things, wanting things, maybe I'd have some happiness. Now she's gone up and
you hear that, mama?
Come on.
Don't cry, mama, please don't.
Because that was sincere. She may have been speaking from the in the terms of, if she didn't need and want things, I'd be some, but it was sincerely, I'm lonely. I need community. That was, again, that's the time they were like, we got you. That's the time where we come in and say, we got you. And then also when she's talking about, I can't have a man because of Penny, it may be because of the love she had for her. And she did understand that she couldn't bring just any old John around because they might try to get Penny. So she had to keep him away. So it may be that resentment from that as well. We didn't, when watching this thing with that that show with how they depicted her, begin with the writing, we automatically assumed she was just a terrible woman, that she just wanted to abuse Penny because she wanted to do what she wanted to do, and she mad because she where she was. That woman loved her because she could have put her out and easily gave it to Walona a long time ago. Somebody else, another Walona, could have had her, but she loved her enough that she was like, I'm here and I'm gonna take care of you the best way I can. I can't help it that every once in a while my mood change and I might be wanting to slap the shit out of you because these things happen, but I'm working on it. Right. And that doesn't give her the right. I'm not saying she was right for, that, but that's what it is. I got knocked a whole bunch of times because, I was just in the vicinity. I was in the vicinity because my granny got some bad news or because of this, that, or you asked the wrong question. You got too fly. That didn't mean that the love wasn't there. And that show with her breaking down like that, you saw Penny came out and said, Mama, I'm here, Mama. I'm here, Mama. I love. Right. That was I got other, but I'm gonna stop because they just really got me, and somebody else can speak on that. It was real passionate. That it was, and again, Penny, out of everybody in the room, Penny showed the empathy. Penny understood and was listening and getting the energy, and not just because it was her mama. It was just because she felt that. Well, Lone and them, they still sitting back, arms crossed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Penny ran away from the situation from her mama for a reason. At that time, she went to the place she felt safe, but then at that same time, she came back out to the person she supposedly ran from that didn't love her and that was harming her. Go figure that. What make it make sense?
Well, because the family bond is still there. That part. It's not that she's abusing Penny 24 hours a day.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And so in most situations, where there's child abuse or, something like that going on, it's not like that's a perpetual state of the existence. But when it does happen, it's traumatic. It could be damaging. It could be deadly. You understand what I'm saying? And so as that parent that needs that help, and that the community has to be able to acknowledge that and provide resources for that. Right. But there has to be a commitment on part of the parent. Like, I feel your pain, but we got to learn how to deal with it in a way that's not going to kill your child or cause you to take a hot iron to your child's back. You know what I'm saying? And that's that part is real. What the writing room did here was, though, make it seem that there is no community solution to this problem. Like especially for Penny's mother, she's the welfare queen. She's the problem. She's the issue. And there's no empathy for what she's gone through. She's just selfish and thinking about herself and that sort of thing, But no, to me, she's articulating her pain.
Yes,
it became the object, the unfortunate object of it. I'm fulfilling my duty, but I don't like that I'm fulfilling my duty. I'm trying to be a mother, but I hate that and I'm blaming this on my lack of friendships, my lack of this, what has she done for? She's just saying, why me?
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Saying why me, you know what I'm saying? But it's manifesting in a destructive way. And that has to be dealt with, people identify with their abusers, where there's a spouse or a parent. True. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have empathy for those who abuse you because they also feed you. And so that's why, Penny comes out of the closet as well. So but I empathize with Penny's mother. I didn't then, though. Back in them days, I didn't at all. I remember that, but you can have empathy and not justify.
Absolutely.
Again, we hurt people, and we have to deal with that. That was a mental health issue. Her mama was going through a mental health crisis.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Accountability could definitely needs to be had, but again, with empathy, with understanding, because again, like Bourne said, Walona is just one little sandwich, one I didn't get my food stamps this month away from being in that situation, or again meeting the wrong guy or meeting the right guy and getting you a baby, and you in your 30, 40, who knows how you gonna respond to having a baby. So again, understanding that if you got resources, like we went back to with Thelma offering the resource, that was a offering hand, that was a handout. I'm going to be very transparent real quick, not going too deep. When Baba said, there's a difference in someone having the baby, and caring for him, but not really wanting. It's like, damn, why I gotta be in this situation? I ain't asked for this. There was a moment early in my years, and with my first set, that there was these things I already spoke about, having my own childhood traumas and being abused. There were these things where I'm like, why am I here? I didn't ask for this. Why do I have this job? I don't want, and then I get all this still happening, and then people looking at me like, what you doing? What you doing? I didn't have the own love of myself to give to them. Once I started finding getting that love and getting that community of people showing me that love and those resources, then it lessened the blow of me being in this situation. So now I'm here. Can't do nothing about it at this point. I'm here. What am I except move forward in it? I can't get rid of anything. So let's move forward in. But that community support, support, that understanding, and that giving the tools that I'm able to use in order to go forward. That was key for me. And so that mentality of why me, it eventually moved. Because I was a why me, because shit was happening. Things were going on. So I was like, God dang, I can't catch a break. And then I got these little rugrats looking at me to my mama, what we gonna eat? What we gonna do? Hug me, mama. Love me, mama. I'm like, hey, what? So I overstand that. That's why community is important. And they did a great job in showing that there was no community. They did a great job in showing that Black people don't support one another in that writing.
They sure did. They sure did.
They did a great job.
Yeah, they sure did. I was only thinking just now when the boat. Oh, sorry, Brother Knowledge.
No. I just wanted to say that with clean hands, because they're not in there, but they're in there.
Right.
You understand? Right. They ain't got to be in there to be.
We see us in there. Right.
That's mine. I'm just being.
Oh no, I'm gonna get ready to dip, but I just wanted to say, when Baba was speaking about how he always didn't see the other side, right? He didn't always see it, and I feel like at 44, I'm starting to see the other side. I was really a Black or white person, especially in my 20s and 30s. It was either this or that. If it wasn't this, it was that. And now I'm noticing in my 40s, I'm starting to live in the gray more. I'm starting to say, I don't necessarily agree with your perspective, but I understand it. I'm starting to get to that point. And I'm also starting to give people the grace that I want to receive, right? Because I have trauma. I'm still growing. I'm still evolving. And I still want people to give me grace. So I'm at a point where now I'm starting to be more empathetic and just giving people more grace. Even as a professor, students are more going to tell you, I'm like, nope, don't close my door. I don't care. I was no nonsense hardcore for 8 years at Morgan. And now some of my students, even from previous semesters now, say, Doc, you let them do. We couldn't have got away with that. You letting them do. So I'm starting to see as I get older.
Younger children,
yeah. So I'm starting to see as I get older. I'm starting to see that I can see the other side now, and I can empathize. I can empathize and give grace, right? Because of course I want grace, right? And so just being able to give people grace, and I want people to be empathetic with me. So giving folks what I want them to give me, and I'm starting to move into that direction as well.
Ashe. Yeah, it's even a balance like in the movement, because especially in the RBG movement, you got that. If you're gonna lead, you better have some grace and some empathy. When you're bringing the people in, a lot of times, a lot of Black folks have a hard time because I don't eat meat, I don't do this, I do this, and if you haven't read Amos Wilson, if you haven't done this, then you aren't ready for. You ain't gonna get nothing done. Then what I'm saying? Because folks gonna come. This ate a pork chop sandwich, but they showed up. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times when we would have things going on, the Uber discipline don't show up to the neighborhood to do the outreach. Just go do the outreach are the folks that's in the community. You know what I'm saying? And we had Temple. You don't have to be perfect to come to Temple, but come to Temple honest. Come to temple sincere.
Right.
Let's talk about it. Identify where your strengths are. Identify where your challenges are. Then work on those challenges and know that nobody's here qualified to judge where you are in your movement. You know what I'm saying? But we do have a right to not be impacted by your trauma, though.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
We do have, we're going to build safety protocols where we don't mess each other up while we're trying to build each other up.
Right.
And that's the challenge in finding that balance.
Absolutely. And I want to going back to this clip that looking at Miss Nulella, again, I don't know Sister Chips. I never knew her name on the show, but she was parenting through her pain instead of parenting through healing, which of course she didn't even know how to heal. She didn't know that healing was needed to happen, or no, she knew it needed to happen. She didn't have the tools to do that. And I want to highlight that many of our ancestors, they had no choice but to parent through the pain due to the brutal conditions that they lived under, just like a lot of us may be living under that now. So we have to realize that even, the fact that they did show that, but again, I'm talking about us, not the writers. I'm talking about these things coming to life. They came to life. Our ancestors living on the plantation. They had to parent through that. That's why we have these old sayings where it says, don't go out there doing this, or I'm trying to think of one where that it was only due to, when Dr. Joy DeGruy talking about breaks down when a parent gives a white parent gives a compliment about the black son, and the mama said, he make B's and D's, and he's so hard-headed, he don't listen. That came from, I don't want you to find some interest in my child, so you don't take them. It's not that I'm putting them down, even though others may be on the outside hearing, she's putting them down. I'll just accept the comment. No, I'm trying to protect my son. That's where that energy came from. And we have to understand a lot of these traumatic things that we do come from that institutionalized and that racism that was put on us, and just now and working it off of us, finding the way to get that off of us so that we can speak highly of our children. We're no longer there. We can speak highly of our children, speak to them about being highly, and not with the fear of something happening. Just like having to give the talk to our black boys, being in the car after all the Black Lives Matter, all that stuff. That's traumatic in itself, to give the talk, even though we're thinking we have to prepare them, which we do, but that's traumatic. Because I'm coming from a place of, I have to protect you. So some of this shit ain't going to make sense, and you shouldn't even have to do in 20, 30 years, but you're going to still be doing it because this is where it came from. It was bred out of a traumatic experience. So just looking at that's my take on this clip, is that finding the solution to a horrible situation, but in a positive and a productive way that we can carry it into the future. So we use these tools, can be used over and over again, even though it was born out of a bad situation or out of a need for protection and things of that nature. Because that's what Penny's mama needed at that time.
And you know what? And a good segue, and I agree 1,000% with what you said, Mama. But you said that's what she needed at that time, and she also needed to be seen as human. I often hear people say, "You got to see the God in me, the divine in me." No, I want you to humanize me.
Yes,
I want you to see me as an actual human with emotions, with thoughts, with opinions, with a history, right? See me as a human being. And human beings, we go through stuff. I remember when I was young, I grew up in the church. My pastor, Dr. Samuel Ray, peace be upon his soul, used to always talk about the stuff of life. And we have to understand how the stuff of life impacts us as humans. So I want to see the God in you. No. I want you to see me as a human being and understand that I come with thoughts, opinions, emotions, and challenges. You know what I mean? And I think in that moment, she also needed to be seen as a human. And I think once you start to humanize people, then you can be more empathetic, you can be more understanding, and you can give grace.
Ashe. That's real talk. That's real talk. Yes.
All right, but now let's born. Now let's born. I gotta jump off. I tried to hang as much as I
trying to be quiet as much as I could.
I hung for an hour and a half almost, but I gotta get ready to jump off. So thanks
Appreciate
for having
you.
me on. Thanks for having me
Doc.
on. And I definitely want to see. I'm gonna watch the build in the archives of you all talking about the movie Sinners, because that breakdown that Bobby and Mama gave yesterday. For those who didn't watch it, watch it. It was powerful, and it was very informative and very accurate. And I like to hear different people's take when they go to the movies, because like what you might have saw it may not be what I saw, or and so I love to hear people's perspectives on it. So I'll definitely be watching. So you all take care. Habibi Fahodi.
You too. Habibi Fahodi. Peace.
We got the great ones up here. Telling you, look, I was ending when I got the notification y'all was going live. I was over here with Openfemi. I was like, hey, he said she said it's coming on. So I'm getting off of here. And if y'all know, like I know, you ain't gotta go home, but you gotta go over there. She said, get off of here and go on over there.
Yeah.
You ain't got nothing to do. Go on over there. Go on over there and sit down.
Yes, I appreciate it. I know we're about to jump into Sinners real quick. I want to be certain those who were here and who are going to watch it, and really to sum it up for me, the point that both of the women were shaped by their environments. Walona and Miss Penny's mom was shaped by their environments. Penny's mom was hardened, by the poverty and the abandonment and need for survival. As Walona, she was navigating all that stuff as well in a way, but she found a way to heal through that enough to, be able to parent with her heart. And Penny's mom was really parenting with her issues and the things that she was lacking or stuff. And I wanted to always and drill in as well, like I stated before, that Penny mama both of them wanted Penny to be safe. They both wanted the same thing for Penny. I think it was just going in a different way. Of course, Penny's mama in the wrong way, and and Walona in the other. But Penny's mom, she didn't hate her. She thought she was protecting her the only way she knew how. And Walona, of course, she was wanting to protect and nurture Penny, and she did it through love and some security and encouragement. And again, going back to Bourne talking about that, Walona was able to get her healing of that, because she said she was left alone at 16 as well, by joining in the good, with James and Esther, their family. She was able to get that through going over to JJ's house every day and being amongst them as a family and stuff. So she was able to get that her own. So again, offering that empathy and understanding. I get you. Go ahead, Baba.
I'll say this though. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Walona had the Evans family. That was her saving grace. But in the writing room at that time, America was promoting sexual liberalism to our community. They were promoting, promiscuous behavior to our community. Y'all,
independent woman.
In 70s style, Walona was a jump off. She had several men. Walona was always dating, excluding just implied. But Walona was always dating somebody new. Okay? She was always with somebody. So she ain't had no man. She ain't had no more having luck with men than Penny's mom.
Right.
And she ain't had no child to blame.
Right.
And she said she had no better luck with men
than
Penny's mother had. You know what I'm saying?
That's a great point. Again, another reason she should have been.
Here's Penny, because I'm looking at it now. Penny's feeling a void for you. That you have in your life. You open the Evans house, and what does it remind you when you go over to Florida? It reminds you that you ain't got no man, you ain't got no children.
Right. Yep.
But the show makes Walona kind of like the woman that's desirable to be.
You're right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she's having a great life. I ain't never seen a woman happier in the projects than Walona Woods.
That part, okay.
Come
in always fly.
Yeah. So when you think about it, they say they the same woman. Only difference is that Penny's mother has a baby. Walona don't have a baby. and then Rolona want to take the one good thing about
one good thing. Come
Rolona
on.
wants to take that away.
Right.
You know, but the woman who has Penny doesn't appreciate what she has.
Right.
In having the child at the same time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because of the hardships in her life. But Rolona been acting out sexually the whole show. The whole
She sure
time.
has. She sure has.
I'm gonna leave it at that. Rolona was sound kind of a jump off. I'm just saying. I love
and that's your nice way of saying it. That's your nice way of saying it.
I wanted to be with. You know, Thelma was
from Rolona to Sandra.
Yeah,
from Rolona to Sandra. You see what I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah,
the archetypes are created.
There you go.
Yeah, they create those archetypes right there. So that's them in the background because they're shown. Like I said before you got on, Bobby. This is fresh off the Pam Grier, right in the height of the Pam Grier era.
Right.
So
the provocativeness is there, but it's an undertone. It's not an overtone. And you know how all those men was coming looking for Thelma down to JJ homeboy. Thelma. Look, I'm gonna tell you something as an older brother that you already know about. Any of them little boys that was sniffing around for my little sister. You understand? And especially somebody that was supposed to be in my crew. Are you crazy?
Right.
Are you crazy? You understand what I'm saying? Like, are you crazy? Like you a different kind of crazy. You a special kind of crazy. You know what I'm capable of doing. You done seen it. That's how we friends. You understand? So you trying to come over here with with the dishonor, but there was always some older man sniffing around, and they just weaved it in because that's their own mind. You know, their own mind looking at not humanizing. Back to Dr. Myers' point, not humanizing this young girl as a young girl. They already see her as a grown woman, and they want to do things to her. You understand what I'm saying? So they'll promote that and push that. So. Rolona's character
16, 21, but what, 9 or 10? So she's in her 20s. So she's still a young woman.
All of them together, like so. Rolona's kind of like old in it. Like I've been in the game a long time. You see what I'm saying? So her versus this young one, and like I was saying, the character for James. He was one of the reasons why they took him off the show because he was treating her like his own daughter.
Right. Looking out.
So it was okay for Esther to, intervene in a way, but it wasn't, for the father character to be assertive about his daughter. And him and Red Fox was like the only straight black men in real life that we ever seen on TV for a while. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody who was a father or a father figure ain't want no black woman or no woman in their life.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? So so and we ain't know till James was about 95, who he was messing around with and who he had family with. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And they was real hush about that. You see what I'm saying?
That's back in them days you can have secrets.
Right.
Back in them days you can have secrets, man. Can't have secrets no more.
Yeah, and even one of the men that Rolona had took back, he came back in there and he seen Thelma and he was after Thelma. He went after Rolona. So again, this predatory nature, who she winds up marrying is an alcoholic ex-football player who was abusive.
Yep. And again,
strong positive black males not allowed.
Right.
And he was their way out the projects at the end because the NFL took him back. That was the only way out. And Rolona was like, "Y'all leaving me?" She's like, yeah. But, I'm moving over there too. She finally found her man, quote unquote, at the end. So, like at the end of it all, this is the perpetual thing. And like I was telling Mama when we came on, something that was real key from the breakdown that y'all gave yesterday was, once you let them in, it ain't you no more. They got access to you, and you're going to change. You're going to cross over. That vampiric energy get on you. It's going to change you. You ain't changing nothing over there. You understand what I'm saying? So they got a hold of you, and they about to eat.
Yep.
They picked that. What was that song they were singing? That picked that Jay Bird clean.
Yeah.
They were telling them what we in here to do. You understand? We're like we. From head to toe, we about
ain't
to
leaving
show
nothing.
Bird.
Ain't leaving feathers.
From the
nothing.
rooter to the tutor.
Pick it clean. We want it all.
Yep.
We want it all. Leave you just alive enough to be fed upon.
Right. And we have to right. And we have to understand we have to understand enough to be able to identify and acknowledge those quality or that energy in anything and everything that we do that's on out that we don't have control over. If we're not controlling, then you need to expect to see that and know that that's there so that you can navigate accordingly. I'm not saying go in always saying, oh, yeah, what they doing it, oh, they about to do this and be open and be aware. So that you will be make a well-informed decision about all the things you do within that place or that system or wherever you are. And that's the take that I got on that, is that you just have to be aware. We not don't pretend, because people are like, oh, we can't say that about all white people or all institutions, that all that. Well, god dang, enough of them have shown me, so I'm definitely it's gonna be there. I may not personalize it, but I'm sure it's gonna be what it be, and I'm going to be aware. I'm gonna always be looking for it so that I can identify it and I know how to navigate.
But the thing is, if you feel like the egg that you want to eat is in their nest, you know what I'm saying? If you feel like you have to go among, you have to be there, and get their acceptance. If you're taught that it's their acceptance is the key to your success, then you're susceptible up front. You're taught we long for the opportunity to let them in. Let us in. Matter of fact, no, y'all ain't gotta come to. We'll come to you. Where you at?
Right.
Where the vampire nest at? We'll come to the vampire cave. Right. As soon as the sun go down, we sitting at the door with our neck out like this. Come on, please come bite me. You know what I'm saying? We're educated to do that. You're literally educated. We're literally educated to get out of our community. You can get out to get away from our people, get away from our culture. Well, where are you going when you get out?
Right.
And then when the shit backfire on black folk, they always try to do what? Come back
to the community. And we should let them in.
Let me in. Like a buddy,
and we always let them in.
He's like, look, let me in. Whatever. Let me in.
They had been to a black church in 30 years.
Right.
Shit. And then all of a sudden he went on trial for murder. He was in the black church in Johnny Cocker. He praised and the boy had been in church since he was Othello.
And we should not.
After they picked him clean.
They did.
Yeah,
and we should have did the same thing that they did to Cornbread, was not let his ass in. We should have done the same thing, and that's what we should do to all. Once you go, boo, you got to show and prove, because you got dirt on you, you got stank on you. I can't let you in.
Cornbread said, "We just out here telling ghost stories." He said,
"Right,
we just out here telling ghost stories."
Right. And they watch the destruction of other black people, like how when they turn in centers, and like even when the Chinese man came up and Cornbread down, come on, baby, let's go to the car. Like this is normal right here. It's like they let go. Oh, he just home. And you'll see people like Stephen A. and others when like Shannon and all that, and they explain it matter of fact. Like Stephen, they'll tell you, my job is to make my boss as much money as possible and try to give me some of it, and so they'll facilitate and provide be a commentator for the destruction of the image of young black males, what I'm saying, for their own benefit. They can't wait to talk down on young black male athletes and help to dehumanize them and that sort of thing. So we become complicit in it. Yes. So man, Sinners. There's
y'all got 3
songs
that was. I'm so thankful that y'all put out. That was the theme of this movie, real quietly. Okay, like I was like, oh, this song, and I seen that. I said, oh, that song. It's like, oh. This song, you understand what I'm saying?
That's
because from my mind, this is a story that's told in reverse. The ending is the beginning, and it just go backwards. That Samuel's at this bar on his last leg, looking at his life, and he goes back in time. So it's his story about his older cousins and how the last sunset or whatever it was that he had, the best feeling he ever had in his life, right? So
Yes, he
the
did.
best feeling
Yeah.
he ever had in his life, these were the events before it went into
Right.
total chaos and total darkness.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So this is his story. You know, he comes into the church with the horrors of the night before, all marked up, whooped up, destroyed. You see what I'm saying? His cousin said, "Don't worry, we're gonna get him back in one piece," and that was true to that. What it was, it didn't matter about anything else, their life or anything, their safety or nothing, right? That promised to get him back in one piece because they had identified his father as a good man. But that quick check-in while he was driving, they say, "Hey, you know, your father been putting his hands on?"
Right.
What about the siblings? Just real quick, just like it wasn't. We ain't get into none of that. Just little drop. So if he would have been wrong, he came to see him. You see what I'm saying? Because that was their function. You know, that was their function. Their function was that right there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, you keep on riding. You understand what I'm saying? And so that whole situation is his recollection of the events that occurred, right, wrong, indifferent, whatever the case may be, from his old age to his youth. And this is the story that's that. And I just really laughed that Saul Williams playing somebody's daddy one, and then somebody's preacher daddy two. Saul Williams, I was like, oh, okay. All right. Oh, all right. You somebody daddy and somebody preacher daddy? All right. Okay.
Right.
So
he did. Like, he played his role. He did it too.
Yeah. I'm like, okay. You know, that was like a little bit of it was interesting. But yeah. So from my analysis,
but it's a trick. It just make what it did with me was like somebody like Saul who kind of tries to look like Afro-futuristic. It's like you still really look like that sharecropping preacher from Mississippi. You know, like
right.
Like that scene with the past and present and all that together. That's what Saul like. That's like you still, dude. You look just like that. They didn't put a lot of makeup on.
I said, "Is that Saul Williams?" I said, "Can't nobody tell me that ain't Saul Williams." I said, "Wait a minute, somebody preaching daddy in the church, and you got to renounce the arts. You telling your son to renounce the art." I was like, "Ooh, this was slick. This is real slick." You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it was just. That's my backdrop, but I want to play "What's Your Name" because "What's Your Name" is the theme for me. Like that is the regaining of an identity, right? People could call you whatever they want to call you, and the theme about it was your name, who you are, that space of identity which you identify with, whether you pull against it, you push against it, whatever it is, you're gonna be who you are. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, when I saw that, I was like, man, because I listened to the soundtrack for I seen the movie. I was like, this soundtrack is off the chain, but I'm like, what's missing? What's your name? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your name is missing.
Come on,
like it's imperative because all of these things happen. You know, you got Smoke and Stack, but you got Elijah and Elias, two powerful names, right? But in them streets, though.
Yeah.
When you need to get adjudicated, Elijah wasn't going to do that work. Smoke and Stack was going to do that work together.
Right.
Neither one of them on a good day or a bad day. Okay, it might be your last day.
Right, and then the homage that they paid to the music industry with Smokestacks, period. You know, Stacks Records, and then isn't it Smoking? What was it? Howlin' Wolf and Smoking and all
Howlin' Wolf, Smokestack Lightning. Yeah, there's a lot of black folklore.
Yes.
So true to the story. This droplets, you gotta have it. I ain't about to do it for you, and I think that was the thing that y'all brought up yesterday. That was important. That it wasn't corny and it wasn't a whole history lesson about it. Like if you got it, you got it. If you didn't, you still enjoyed yourself. And somebody might pull your coat-tail and tell you what it is. Oh, I just thought that name was just haphazard. I just thought it was just. You know, I don't know. Smokey the Bear, Smokey Robinson. I don't know.
And I just looked up the character name, you know, and their last names were Moore.
Right.
You know, the Moore's gonna love that.
Yeah, they're gonna run that up the hill. They're gonna run that up the hill and keep it. That's it.
Jedediah
They don't care nothing
Moore,
about nothing else.
Yeah, Jedediah Moore was Saul's character, and Smoking
Right.
Stacks, they dad's brother. So Moore is evidently the family name. And so,
That's dope.
Yeah, see, we was the Moors in the South. They about to run it. You can't tell them nothing.
It's all now.
The Moors and the Indians was in the movie. Oh, and the Asiatics. Oh yeah, we all good to go. Everybody good. It was something for everybody up in there. You see what I'm saying?
Ryan gave a little something to everybody.
The Irish showed up. I was like, the Irish showed up from the skies and not from under the ground. I was like, oh, they having a field day right now. They having a real field day.
Right.
So, yeah, he came
what's
up
your
with
name?
What they came and bust a limerick. You know what I'm saying? Like his name is Remick, but he came and hit him with the limerick. You see what I'm saying? So he went and got some Klansmen that came with a two-step for him. He was out there crip walking.
Right.
Battling like a word.
And the child's getting money hand over fist. They taking plantation money, EBT, they taking everything. Okay.
Yeah, they get down nothing but our collar.
Right. On both sides. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, man.
Your name is important. So let's say what's your name. We about to get into it. So tell somebody. I know we got about like 20, 30 minutes with Bobby, because they got a full day. So I love y'all for coming through over here.
No problem.
Being New African world.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what's your name, man? Is one of our most powerful songs. And it's basically about identify yourself. We're not all the same. You know what I'm saying? We're not all the same. What you gonna claim, whatever it is you claim, and stand on it. You know what I'm saying? And because what we're gonna find when we stand on it is that we still have more in common than different. The root is still gonna come out. We know no matter how you label the root, those African values, they still gonna come out. So what's your name? Learn the history. And also I remember the first time I asked a brother if he was a Muslim, he asked me, what's a Muslim? And I said, well, I'm asking you. He said, well, I got to ask you because your definition of a Muslim might not be what I am.
Right.
So
I love that.
Don't he said, young brother, don't just study who you are, study who you're not. And the only way you're going to know what you're not is if you study it. Because he said, you might not think you're a Muslim and really be one in your action. So what's your name is kind of in the spirit of that lesson. You know what I'm saying? Study it. Study who you not.
Right. And also I think that for me, what's your name is like, we, in the hood, somebody call you out your name, it's fighting words, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so definitely going along line, adding to what Baba says is study your name, study and stand on that. Stand on it, because somebody gonna call you something that you ain't. And do you even know how to identify them when they just insulted you? You know what I'm saying? They just called you out your name, or just use your mama's name in vain and stuff like that. What do you do? Are you going to be able to recognize it enough to be like, no, this is who I am. This is my name. So I wanted to add that to that. I'm
and
from
to my FBA brothers and sisters, we wrote the song for y'all was here.
Right, we didn't get to include you.
Yeah, y'all knew.
Y'all knew.
Yeah, I wrote it for y'all. I wrote it for y'all was around. So y'all just take are you African, an American?
Oh,
that's y'all.
That's
y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So ADOS, I wrote for ADOS. I wrote for y'all. We come up with a new group every year. So y'all charge it to my heart, my head, my heart.
Oh man.
If y'all remember that movie Sugar Hill with Wesley Snipes and what's his name? Michael, the one who played Eddie Kane in 5 Heartbeats.
Yeah.
They have this scene where they have the interactions with, the cats from Nigeria, right? And they all in the drug game. But them Nigerians is like, we not doing no business with a kata. You see what I'm saying? Black American cotton picker type of situation. Right. So I was like, oh, they didn't leave you out. No matter what's going on, we still gonna sow these seeds of discontentment and strife. So National Geographic is mentioned. He's like once upon a time we looked to them for our history and our culture. He said, you want culture, get National Geographic. This is what the brother is saying to him.
Right.
His perception of an African is National Geographic, and their perception of us is Black American cotton picker. You could go do you can go do dirt with the Arabs and the Asians, the Italians, the Jews, the Irish, whomever, right? All the rest of the criminal world, but you're like, no, we can't work. Romello, you do your team, I do my team. You know what I'm saying? I said,
Right.
He's like, what is this Akata shit? Black American cotton picker? Oh, and you get your ass whooped. You see what I'm saying? So the perpetual space of African booty scratcher, booty scratcher to National Geographic to the babies with the flies on the cheek and the big bellies and all of those perpetual things are there on time release. So when you start talking about Africa, this is the first thing that you have to confront now. And then you start talking about Black people in America. This is the other thing you got to confront. Like you was talking about, Mama Nkoyo, about those ones that's from the UK and all these other places. They have their own set of class system over there. If you are Black British, that's one thing. If you from the Caribbean, you in another class. You from Africa over there, you are the lowest rung of the class. So they have their own tug of war based off of that as well. So you a Black Brit, so you're just British, and then it's like, oh, you're British, and then that's the highest class. And then if you you there and you lived in Britain, you grew up there, boom. Then you from the Caribbean, you like the cool version of the Black, and then the African migrant that's there from Africa. Oh, forget about it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And in those ghettos, that's who they're fighting. They're fighting each other. They're not fighting anybody else.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
that's right.
Wherever we find ourselves in those spaces, regardless of how much consciousness had came to that place, the Honorable Malcolm Josiah Garvey, he transcended over there. Malcolm and everybody went over there to speak and all these other things. Those next generations still have the same sort of strife and have the same sort of conditioning. So when they look at, us, things like, oh, I could come over here and play Harriet Tubman and really hate you. I can come over here and listen to 2 speeches from Fred Hampton Sr. and I could do it better than the Black dude from Chicago. Oh, I ain't never played football in my life, but I'm gonna be on this show called All American. You're like, oh, I ain't grow up in no project.
I can ride around LA with some Crips and play in Snowfall.
And I can play in Snowfall. Like that's it. Like it's really quintessential in that regard. But you can't go over there and play James Bond. That ain't happening. Okay, you ain't playing no James Bond over there. You see what I'm saying? And then like they was like, oh, Denzel went over and played Steve Biko. I was like, the South African should have did something to him, and he did a horrible job. You understand? He did a horrible job too. Like they was like, oh, he played in Mighty Quinn, and he did a horrible job. You understand what I'm saying? So when he's not doing his own reminiscence of what it is, he off script. You see what I'm saying? So with Forrest Whitaker going over there playing the last King of Scotland, they were so vehemently upset with Idi Amin's memory that they wouldn't even have him who he is. You understand what I'm saying? So Cry Freedom was an afterthought. It wasn't the Steve Biko movie. It was the rendition of what the European saw in South Africa.
Yes. So
it wasn't a Steve Biko movie. Right. And the last King of Scotland ain't have nothing to do with Idi Amin.
Yes, with Idi Amin. I was just, Forrest Whitaker. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And Idi Amin didn't have no lazy eye. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the best you could have did in regards to it. But again, that's the attempt to play in your face, because again, this is cinematic assault, cinematic redemption.
Forrest Whitaker lays eye alone.
I know, right?
But that was the point, though, like the extra mocking to add the insult to injury, because they wanted to demonize that man.
He walked down the street.
Right. That bad. Like, okay, it's like, all right, I want to make sure that you don't have no recollection of yourself in a positive light. You had to be somebody who crazy and somebody who was a cannibal and all kinds of stuff. Like this guy wasn't no Muslim. You understand what I'm saying? So it's it's just all of the things that they play in regards to the game. And he played the game real well. He played it to the bone. And then he said, y'all got to go. So his sin and the atrocity was, you got to get up out my country. The Indians and the Israelis and all the rest of the foreign powers that's over there, y'all got to go, and y'all got a time limit. And that was
anybody they hate in Africa is good for Africa. That's the biggest indicator.
That's
that an African leader is good for Africans is if Europeans want them and America wants them.
Right. Want them gone. Right. Absolutely.
Right? Like now. So
Like
what's your
now,
name? It's
Burkina
important. You
Faso.
see what I'm saying? What's
Yep.
your name?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play what's your
Already.
name, because that was
Yes,
it right
sir.
there.
Yeah, it's still a lot of debate about who we are. Cats arguing, we ain't African, we ain't black, we ain't this, we ain't that. Man, truth is, we all of that. Cause all of that come from us, you know what I'm saying? It's all about where you gon' fit in. Yeah. Yo, what's your name? You an African, an American, or an Israelite? Black or more, Muhammad, or a provocateur? What the business like? Malcolm X, my enemy. Chief Turner, Dr. King, keep a burner, you repeat. Look at me, who you see? I'm garbage when I rap a bar. Every line is a blacker star. I'm masterful cause I understand who these crackers are. Nat Turner's my avatar. My attitude so desolate. I'm a mocking dog, these motherfuckers. Dr. Cotton, these Europeans know what I mean. I'm Farrakhan, never will I run. Robert Williams, nigga with a gun. George and Jonathan Jackson, Dr. Yosef Ben, Yakanan. Show and prove like Dr. Clark. I'm a boom cause I got the heart. I'm Dubois cause I'm hella smart. I'm Denzel cause I got the part. I'm Bianchi, Sutton Kufu, Mansa Musa, Shaka Zulu. I'm with Mia, I'm with Tulu. If I was Jesus, what would you do? I'm a Negro and I'm colored. I'm your nigga and your brother. Yeah, I kill you, but I love you. Accept your own and reject it. What's your name?
What's your name? And why don't you now know what your name was then? Where did it go? Where did you lose it? Who took it? And how did he take it? What tongue did you speak? How did the man take your tongue? Where is your history? How did the man wipe out your history? What did the man do to make you a dumb?
What's your name? It's a Chigaboo, it's a Porsche monkey, it's a Sambo, it's a Nkoyo, maybe revolution is just too much for the handle. I ain't carry no scandal, I ain't scary, got ammo. Harry Tubman with a candle, time to pick up the mantle. I'm a son to walk and Queen of Zinga, Nefertiti and Queen Amina, Hafshasset and the Queen of Sheba. She thinks she God, please believe her. Name is Osada, great escape. Angela Davis, Pete State, Winnie Mandela, refuse to break. I'm animate, refuse to cake. I see straight through cause I'm late today. Miss Fanny Lou, I got things to say. Miss Shirley Chisholm, I paved the way. The homie queen came to slay. Better show Bob, I mean my Malcolm. Black love is the only outcome. I won't stop until y'all have some. I'm not set, this shit gon' happen. I'm on shoot, come bless the altar. I'm Nivea, I bless Walter. I'm on Lacuna, I drive my daughter. I'm Oya, I cannot falter. I'm the one to give birth to stars. Masterful, how I work these bars. Series B to the earth to Mars. KOS, reversal stars. What's your name?
What's your name? And why don't you now know what your name was then? Where did it go? Where did you lose it? Who took it? And how did he take it? What tongue did you speak? How did the man take your tongue? Where is your history? How did the man wipe out your history? What did the man do to make you as dumb as you are right now?
Oh, you trying to get no? Did you do
What?
the dryer?
No, not yet.
Malcolm did that.
Yes, he did.
Malcolm asked some great questions.
Who told you to hate yourself? Okay.
Where is your history?
Right.
Who took it? How did he take it?
Yeah.
You know, I'm asking. Powerful questions.
Yeah.
Still relevant.
Yeah. It really is. Who taught you to hate yourself? What was your name? Where did it come from?
What was your name? It certainly wasn't Jones, a Bunch, or Powell,
or Smith.
Or Smith. They don't have names
Murphy,
like that where you
right?
and I come
or Murphy.
from. Murphy.
Right.
They don't have names like that where you and I come from. What's
That's
your
right.
name?
What's your name?
What was your name before that? What language did you speak?
Right.
You know,
Right.
Who
And
were
the
you
thing
before
that he
you was
recognized was like, oh, I'm thankful for all of these speakers and all of the black organizations, because nobody came up there handkerchief heading. Nobody came up there handkerchief heading. Like an atrocity happened. This is an atrocity that happened internally. The NYPD, the LAPD, and Chicago PD had ran into the temples, and the Muslims fought them and out of there. ran them up out of there. They came in there with guns and they fought against the Muslims with no guns, and they were shooting them and still fighting them. You understand? There was nothing that they had never seen that kind of velocity in their life.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. We in there. We got the upper hand. We got authority. We got the badge, the gun, and the nightstick. They're like, oh yeah, come on in here then. They ran up in there, and that was the direct result of the event that happened that they popularized in the movie, with them going for their brother at the police station. So the remark is that's too much power for one man to have, and their response was this. So this physical confrontation on top of the legal confrontation, because there was a lawsuit. There was a lawsuit that they levied against them. So they said, hold up, they after the money. Oh, and they showed up in force. Oh yeah, we about to show them their place, right? Because that's the other overarching theme of the movie. You know, y'all was talking about favorite parts. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to hear. I got 3 or 4 favorite scenes, and the rest of the movie, okay, all right, whatever. But I can show you better than I can tell you.
Okay.
You know, a black man told you something, I can show you better than I can tell you.
That part.
I ain't forgot about what I told you. And
that part.
If you want to make it up out of here, you understand what I'm saying. I don't care.
That
I don't
part.
care about nothing else. This money in the bag don't mean nothing. My word is bomb. Okay.
That part.
So I'm gonna position myself right here and show you. Okay, you showed up with your little pistol. Like they laughed at that shit. Like he showed up with a little pistol. He must not know who we are for real.
Yeah,
you know
they got the circling them and everything. Like, yeah, you might not walk out of here, Cracker. What you doing?
Come on. And
it wasn't
them kind.
Yeah, you better know that. We saying like you over here. Let me show you.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, ain't no boys here. Just grown men."
Yeah,
come on.
He ain't saying with anger like I'm comfortable with this conversation.
Yeah. Ooh, I love this one. This what I live for. The other stuff I'm trying to do. I can't even roll up my own cigarette, but I can put one in you.
Yeah,
I can put one in you.
We
Real
the
quick.
kind they created lynching for.
Yeah,
that part.
Yeah.
That part.
We them kind. You got to give some. You got to give some. Take some to give some.
Of putting together a Nat Turner energy, a will to execute a type of energy all in one.
Yeah.
It's just one situation where it's looking like, oh yeah, if I said it, I meant it. All right, yeah, come on around the corner. Oh, we're in Mississippi too. Like we from the other part of Mississippi. Don't let this little part. You and this, you can't in this part.
Come on.
Yeah. So it was just beautiful how this undercurrent, and this is how Sammy is remembering his family. Family was the real theme. Everybody else, they were suspect, but family, that family bond, younger cousin, older cousin,
right?
This is my family. Like, oh, no, you my family. Oh, you can't have my family. Oh, I'm not. I don't care what my safety is. My little cousin gonna get up out of this. You see what I'm saying? So that sort of unity and bond. Who they love.
They hadn't seen their cousin for 7 years.
Right.
And so picking up the cousin, you checking out the little cousin. Like whoever you turned into. And they fell in love with him, man. They fell in love with him. Like, you know, this dude is pure. He has dreams. He wants to be a musician. It's something, he got that thing, and he doesn't have to go through what we went through.
Right.
You know, that's why it was, you know, when she was about to jump off, you know, before it was jumping off, he was like, man, go down the mountain by you, bro.
Yeah. Right. And y'all brought that up. I was like, oh, I'm like, popping. I'm like, I don't want to get too deep into it because I know y'all gonna do your own breakdown and all that, but I just want to share a little time comparing notes about some of the observations. I don't care nothing about the spoiler. I've seen it about 3 or 4 times, and I'm gonna do my own thing in regards to it. But just from building a Huru Academy, that's in both of y'all blood. You understand what I'm saying? It's in y'all blood. It's a thing that united y'all together and the thing that keep y'all together. You understand what I'm saying? That kind of black love. In regards to, aside from the love that y'all have for one another, this is y'all's child. You understand what I'm saying? So our children and our people benefit from this love child that y'all have with one another. And when you look at one brother and you know his queen, and one brother and his queen, that was the overarching theme, and that was it. There was no room for nobody else in that family dynamic. Nobody. You understand? Everybody else was long-handed spoon. Like, nah, you stay your ass over here. But we'll negotiate with you or whatever, do a little business, but you are not family.
Right.
So when Queen Mother recognized that what's her name, Mary, that what's his name, Stack ain't play about Mary, she family. So that's the only reason why she got the protection, because
she in there because she family.
That's it. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been up in there. You understand what I'm saying? Otherwise, she wouldn't have been up in there, meaning under their protection. So it's like he's not separating from her. He's not separating from her. You see what I'm saying? And it had everything to do with her mother. You know, not necessarily her indiscriminately.
Yeah, not necessarily her. Yeah, it was her mother.
So her mother, you know, was midwife to them when they were born. So in that regard, there was that was that space right there in regards to what it was. So that was something that was deeper. You see what I'm saying? You know, they said blood thicker than water type of situation. So she had put herself in a position, and he had set up to win. She's like he put up there with the rich Ofe and all, you know, all kinds of stuff. Like you go live the high life over there. But she's like, nah, I'm down here. I wanted you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I wanted you. I wanted you joint situation. I don't want none of that.
Yeah,
you know, I don't want that. I don't need no raisins in my potato salad. You understand what I'm saying?
That part.
Yeah, there wasn't nothing. You know,
whatever. And she told me if you hadn't put that whoop whoop on me before I left, maybe I wouldn't.
Even maybe I wouldn't be.
I'm only convinced that you changed your mind because what you did before I left.
I get one of these women to take you up out of here. She said, "You taught me how to fight. I whoop every bee up in here." I said, "Ooh, shit, damn, okay." What's going on here? Like, all right, stop.
Boy,
you know,
them dynamics was real.
This wigology ain't no joke.
That was real. They better go.
Come on. And that's how we were able to relate, and it made it so like authentic. You forgot that you were watching a major film. You know what I'm saying? Right. So yeah, that was dope. The relationship with those two, and how she was saying that was good. And you know that the white actress actually researched and found that she is what you call them, baby? Not mulatto. She's what? Octoroon.
116.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Right. She Justin Timberlake. She got a little bit.
Yeah. And
yes,
that was in full gear. Okay, that was in full gear. So
yes,
that was out there, and that kind of space. But that other part was in full gear too, because she went to go get that coin. She begged. There was something in her that pulled her out there to go get that coin. So that commonality.
That's what. Yes, boy. Because I'm like, why she was so good? Let them go. They had enough money. Why you just want to go get them white folks' money?
Because the undercurrent is they show you that they have the power to manipulate your mind subtly. It's not something that they're showing directly. So he hit her already. He said, "Oh, I got my target. It's her. I got my target. It's her. I ain't got no way in with nobody else. They don't trust us. You understand?
Right.
I know that for a fact. They don't trust us. They don't mess with us.
Right.
So I got to find my way in. So what she's doing here. And so when Queen Mother said, "Oh, she's family,"
that part,
that was it. That was the supplanting. He said, "We're gonna walk slow in case you change your mind." That was it. So they already knew that they got one. They were sitting there waiting on her on the side.
Yes,
like,
you're right.
You're right. Like, watch what I tell you. She's finna come around this corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If come around this corner, she's gonna come around this corner.
Right.
And she came around that corner. He's strumming that guitar. He's about to get her. You see what I'm saying?
He about to pick us,
and right into playing a song that was penetrating her white soul.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's it.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see.
Playing that old limerick.
Called a Lassie.
He sure did. It sure did. Shut your mouth.
Yeah, little dog. Because he got them two dogs that was sitting with him. So she was a mutt. He was a mutt, mulatto mutt. You see what I'm saying? So
crazy, man. The dynamic. So much to break down that movie.
Yes.
To me, that makes a movie fun. You know, when you
does.
study, you know what I'm saying? Because we break down all movies anyway, right? We ruin movies for people. That's what we do.
Right.
We're professional movie ruiners. You know what I'm saying? People like, man, I did not want to find the racism in Scream 4, my nigga. I was just watching the movie, right? But this, when you get a movie where that's a part of the art, that's the intention in the art for you to find the nuggets. It just feels good to be able to find the nuggets.
Wait a minute. You talking about you weren't born ruin movies, right? Not because I don't ruin movies.
Yeah, I do. I'm a movie.
And that's why I don't like watching movies.
My twin is here. Okay, I ain't got to worry about it. Whatever I don't get, my twin got, and whatever my twin don't get, I got. That's it. That's just how
I walk in the room and Nkoyo watch certain things. She just hit pause. Like I ain't hitting.
I done yes. I'm not finna. I'm not. I don't need. This is not why. This is strictly entertainment. No,
I'm like, what you watching? My stuff. Don't even worry about my stuff. Don't even worry about it.
Because I didn't put all that stuff out of my mind. I'm psychologically breaking it down, but I'm doing this and this. No, don't come in here and ruin this. Because once you start, I'm turning it off. I'm done.
Ryan Coogler owed me a movie. Okay, I was mad for a while. I can't front.
You mad about what?
I was real mad. He owed it me. I got to get ghetto. He owed me a movie. Okay, because he gave me 2 Black Panthers and Creed and Fruitville Station and all that other stuff. I'm like, okay. All right. No.
Well, you know, it's a trip because
when I seen The Woman King,
those are all sprinkle movies.
Look, when I see, that's what I'm saying. Like, so when I seen The Woman King, I said, nah, Ryan Coogler owed me something like this. He owed me something like this. He owed me something like this. Like that was cute. That was okay. Like I think they was possessed by some African spirits that forced them to make it look better than what it was, and they was like, "Oh, we're never doing this kind of thing again. We have to go. Get the truck, baby. We're out of here. We got to get up out of here, okay?"
Something. I really think strong Black women are allowed, though. I think they're allowed right now. Let's test the water.
When the priestess and the Woman King, after Nanesca said burn everything. Ain't nothing about to survive. They like, no doubt. The brothers was there. Wasn't nobody like, well, why you get to make the decision? Everybody was on point. We about to shut this thing down. I'm like, are they gonna show it though? Are they gonna show it or are they gonna infer? You understand what I'm saying? So when Shorty broke that slave chain and wrapped it around Buddy's neck, I was like, yep, that was it. That was it. Yep. And the brothers whooped the slaver and left his dead, stinking body in that water. I was like, ooh.
Come on.
I was like, come on, Ryan, fam, brother, man, brother.
There we go, right here.
This the blueprint right here. Can we get a little bit? Can I get a little bit from a cataract? Just right. I was like, this is everything that Black Panther 2 is not going to be. It's not going to be this. It can't be this. So I'm like, I understand the election cycle, the date, the time that they chose. I'm like, oh, slavery on state constitution, 40 state constitutions during this time. We're not about to get that. Not from that. So when I peeked around the corner, I seen this. I said, oh, this might be something. And when I seen the beginning, I said, oh, we're going to get a little something. We're going to get a little something.
Yeah.
This ain't that. This something.
Yeah.
Let me sit on down and be quiet in the corner. I heard Mama Nkoyo said, "Nah, boy, go sit your ass in the corner now. Don't fuck up the movie." let me sit and watch. So I'm like, all right. And if they did not give me what I was looking for, I waited my whole life in the movie scene for this because they did Mandingo and all these other things. And what was the one with Steve McQueen and them that they did?
What Django?
You seen the sister going down there in the field like she about to kill Master, but they don't show it. What was that movie?
I don't remember. Yes, I guess good.
It's like I think it's based off of Adam Shelley's book, something like that.
Oh, is it Queen? Then you're saying Queen, right? That's what you're saying. Yeah, it was Queen. It was Queen. Yeah, right. Queen.
So you don't show it. I'm like, are they gonna do me like Get Out, where I don't see the white girl died that was doing
right?
Are they gonna do me? They gonna Jordan Peele me? What they gonna do?
Right.
I'm like, oh, them boys came up there that said the Klan don't exist no more. You sure right? You sure right. Yeah, thank
Come
you.
on.
Thank you. I sure appreciate it. I was like, oh,
y'all cross my property line, you ain't gonna exist.
You don't exist anywhere. That part.
I was like, oh, this is beautiful. That was so beautiful that I'm like, this was his unfinished business. No, I ain't about to check out now. I
got something else. Yeah, I got some business. And that was what I was telling about. That was a lesson. I love that even in the midst of the warring and destruction they had to go through, it was trauma. They had some shit they went through that night. But coming up in the morning, there was what's the word? Redemption, because he got a chance to he would have never known. They would, they would have been, that'd have been a surprise. But them vampires gave him a little something like, oh, okay, cool.
His brother gave it to him. Yeah, his brother gave it to him. And
his brother gave it to him. I thought
well, the mouthpiece, see this
never mind.
Little,
yep, I got you.
It's a little funny part where there's an exchange, right? So who kills the vampire? One brother, right? So now who was really in charge? You understand?
The brother, the other brother.
So who's really in charge? Because when you start looking at this quote unquote what we know about the vampires, insatiable thirst, and all this whole extra stuff, if they was compelled, then they was controlled. And all he was doing getting access to everybody and controlling them through their own
part in their mind.
So he's out the equation because they had planned it. Stacking his woman. They planned it like, all right, we're gonna get them and we're gonna rule for real. You understand what I'm saying? Like that was their plan. And when Queen Mother Annie was like, nah, yo, don't let me turn these. They ain't about to get access to this.
I'm good.
This mitochondrial DNA.
They can't get all this. Right. They can't get all this.
It's too many memories here. Too many stories.
Right.
So you get access to our culture, to our roots, to all of this stuff.
Ancestral
Take me out of here, man. Take me up out of here. Okay.
Yep.
So they act like they was there for the music and the little boy, but once they seen her, it was like, oh, she's the source of power. We got to get rid of this one right here.
Because they got excited.
Yeah.
When she went down, they got excited, and they were, and then when they saw what he was doing, it's like, no, and I was like,
when he stabbed her, everybody cleared house. All of that gangster stuff was gone. Everybody was like, let's go, let's get him out of here. Go, get him. Because I'm like, just a whole nother thing right here. So
absolutely,
that's how this thing is supplanted in the mind, where it looked like this white dude is in charge and he calling the shots, but he ain't really calling the shots.
I feel you.
He's being controlled. He came over there thinking he's controlling, but he's being controlled. He know all the world's secrets. He told the child lady who had that red bandana on her head because she's gonna go party with the black folks and make some money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when it got hot, that's their problem. We got to get up out of here type of situation. He told her how she liked what she liked in her language.
That part.
So, we're already aware of what you do in the world. So don't even try to act like you ain't with us with this whole.
You ain't a part of this.
Our aim and objective is to get them. It's us against them. Don't you over here try to play, coy. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to you in your language. They don't know what we saying, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So that was their way in. The outsider again. So they show you the with her in her head. So she's like, come and get me, mother. You understand? Like, oh, here she go. Here she go inviting them in, and we ain't even got no plan yet. After she was looking to me for a plan.
Right.
You a soldier, ain't you?
Right.
Yeah. That's why I was like, what was your name? You see what I'm saying? So the undercurrent about the names were important. So their names, even in the old, but also only their women called them by their name and the answer to their name. Nobody else would even dare.
Call them Elijah and Elias.
Yes, Elijah and Elias. She said, she's like, so what you want from me? Oh, you want us to cook, blah, blah, blah. She said, Elijah. And I said, whoo. I was like, whoo. That's how you do what you do. I don't know what class she went into because I know she's from the UK, but she went and talked to some sisters. Like call that man by his name and see what happens.
Right. And look on it. Look.
She said,
Put the head down. Put the head down.
Right. And he said, you gonna make me say it?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I said, oh yeah.
Yep.
I said, oh yeah. This is a different thing right here. This is a different thing right here. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, yeah, it's just a couple of scenes. You know what I'm saying? She in there playing priestess. Oh, let me get a little bit high, John. I was like, oh. No,
right. Come on.
They slip it in there real quick. It was like, oh,
they did.
I was like, oh, they calling this plantation money. They calling this wooden nickels. I was like, oh, I seen some ancestor money floating around up in there right quick.
That part.
Real quiet, like not too much.
Quiet.
If you don't know what you're looking at, you don't know what it is. You understand what I'm saying?
What it is.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we got to do this again, man. We got to do this again. I know we got to get ready to take these babies.
I know. We do. They gotta go to the Universal
Circus.
the Soul Circus, the Black Rodeo, and Black Shakespearean spaces for me was like an eye opener. I saw Black Macbeth, like an all black cast of Macbeth.
Right.
I went to the Black Rodeo. I seen, the Black Cowboys. I was like, oh, okay, Nat Love. So I'm going through the Nat Love and the whole situation.
Come on. Right.
And the Soul Circus, I'm like, oh, that's why they have these characters that's supposed to be looking like misfits, because this our thing.
This our thing.
We was the circus, like we was the zoo.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, So they putting this together and make it seem like, oh, the misfits are welcome here. Like, nah, you was the misfit that we welcome in.
Right. Right. Come on. Then break it down.
Stop inviting people to the cookout because they be showing up with raisins. Okay,
that part. Don't let them in. Right. Don't let them in.
And then they show potato salad no more. It's the potato salad nobody wants now because you didn't put the raisins up in it. All right.
Real talk.
Yeah, I give y'all time for final remarks and promote the greatest Africans in the school and the universe to the folk and family out here. All right. So I'm gonna be quiet.
All right, y'all. Well, hey, everybody go check out the Uhuru Academy at uhuruacademy.com. We actually have a new site we're building too called uhuruacademy.org that we're going to be transferring to sooner or later. But you can either go to .com or .org, see the programs that we have going on, our K through 12 online program. Shout out to all of our parents. We actually completing our 15th year this year. So we're very, very excited energized about that. We're celebrating at Sunchild Farms this year, June 6th through 8th. Will be at Sunchild Farms, a Black-owned event space and 50 acres of beautiful Black-owned land in Winston, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? And we're raising funds. As a matter of fact, for that event. You can cash app us at $Uhuru Academy. Right now, everything that we're bringing in donation-wise is going towards that event and towards helping support Sunchild Farms as well. If you have a wedding or any type of event that you want to have, is a beautiful space. So I want to encourage everybody to go check out Sunchild Farms. Of course, Operation Reconnect, our adult education programs, and we're enrolling. You got anybody 16 and up that stopped out of school. I believe we have the most comprehensive and impactful accelerated high school diploma program in the country, because you don't just get a diploma, you get a plan. And that's really the jewel. And so that, and of course, like I said, you can always support us at $Uhuru Academy. Look out for our summer programs. I'll be advertising those next week. We're going to do a new adult African history class launching in a few weeks as well. So a lot of great things going on. Shout out to the South Carolina Juneteenth Freedom Fest. We're board president. And if you're celebrating Juneteenth, you need to come to Columbia this year. We're going to have a great festival parade and festival downtown. Got national recording artists Cut Close and Surface going to be performing as well. But we're going to have a mini college fair out there. We're also going to be rewarding the youth doing the Juneteenth Youth Leadership Awards, where we recognize young black youth that are beating the odds. Excited about that. We got the first ever Juneteenth 3-on-3 basketball tournament. with a theme of Black empowerment on Friday the 20th. And it's also my birthday week. You know, Gemini's in the house. You know what I'm saying? June 18th. So we're gonna be celebrating and kicking it all week long. So yeah. Shout out to the Teaching Black History Conference in Buffalo, New York. I'll be there the 25th through the 27th of July, presenting along with my brother Sean Gales, and excited about that. Got the UACI Summer STEM Camp coming on the beginning of July. Partnership UACI, me and Dr. Mayat, or the Uhuru Academy of Conscious Ingenuity. It'll be our 4th year doing that as well. Training, consultation, and coaching. Any teachers out there that need training on innovative approaches that engage and empower Black youth in particular, y'all need to get at us. Black homeschoolers, get at us, and be looking for more workshop and training, online workshops and training opportunities coming as well. We ain't playing with them, boy. We ain't playing with them.
And I am, if you go visit me at uhurumama.com, I am a practicing traditional midwife. I deliver the babies. I help you get ready to be able to manifest them babies, meaning conceive. I am, if you just need womb work, that is, I'm there to help you with that as well. I'm able to childbirth education, lactation consulting, herbal remedies, again, with womb help, with fertility, all those things. I am here to empower you as an Uhuru mama to do the things that you would desire to do here in this place. Again, uhurumama.com. If you're looking for consultations, please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you're about to give birth, as far as you're pregnant, or if you want to be in that space, or if you're just saying, hey, because I can't teach you and guide you from a place that I have not gone. I am in a state of perimenopause. Well, I think it's menopause, y'all. I don't think it's peri anymore. I'm in the midst, so I can help with some herbal remedies for that, and herbal things that'll help subside those symptoms that come with it, the hot flashes and things that are right in our yard. So this is my passion. This goes along with a part of our Uhuru Academy Education Solutions, because we're all here about educating our people to live the life that they were put here to do, and live it from a freedom standpoint with no fear, because all this we came here with this knowledge, and we might as well live with it. All right. So that's what I am. And visit, I'm on every other Wednesday. As a matter of fact, I think next Wednesday will be my day for Wild Warrior Women. I come on every other Tuesday with Sister Fatumisha Oshintola for the meeting of the mothers. So there are a lot of things going on. Check us out, y'all. And I have my website, nkoyobina.com, coming up. So you'll be able to get that with all the things in Nkoyo, all the things of our music will be there exclusively. You won't be able to get it anywhere else except on our sites. Amin.com will be up and running in a short while as well. Again, you'll be able to get all the things that's exclusive to us in the Uhuru Academy. Ashe. That's, I think.
I want to thank you. I got the Ojiro special. Okay, I got the 2-for-1 special today. Okay.
Yeah.
So won't she do it? I want to give it up to Dr. Mai and Anime Production. Mailtrek365.com.
That's right.
Take a ride on the Mailtrek. You understand what I'm saying? And so when I was looking for things for my children when I was young, they were young. Excuse me, I'm still young, for the record. Thank you. This was a great tool, as far as building curriculum and visual, so Fino and Bino and this, that was it. You know what I'm saying? Akili in this, they was in the mix. You understand what I'm saying? So
right.
Yeah. So this was a great tool, still is a great tool to utilize in regards to this curriculum with some additions from some other schools that's out here. Again, what's your name? You see what I'm saying? So go to Mailtrek365.com. Shout out to Ed Anime Productions, a family production group.
Yes,
one of
is.
those great dynasties that grace through the Knowledge Radio. Mom and Bob have been around since episode 12 over here. They ain't been playing. Okay, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
We closing in on 4,000 episodes, if you could believe it. But y'all been around since
Come on, then, boy.
Y'all was Operation Reconnect for me. Okay, reconnecting me back to
I say
what's going on. You understand?
I say.
Honors and forever for being alumnus in the liberation elevation. I ain't saying struggle no more. Not when y'all
come on now.
Y'all off.
Liberation
I'll say
elevation.
struggle. The liberation elevation, but there's no African liberation without African centered education. I believe I brought y'all to the stage when y'all performed and had the crowd chanting that. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe wholeheartedly. A lot of the maladies and the angst that we go through, because we talked about, just for planning today, parenting in that way, it's because you ain't had that insight. If somebody shared that with you, you would share it with others.
That's right. That's right.
Y'all allow us to remember and recognize. It was folks in my neighborhood that taught me martial arts and Swahili and all kinds of things. So those folks, in addition to the rearing that I received from my mother and father, were very instrumental in my Black identity not being in crisis. So the crisis of identity came outside when the fisticuffs happened. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, these are my older brother's shoes. You asking me what size they are. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I got to hand me downs. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't never get to hand nobody nothing. So I'm like, you want these shoes? Okay, all right. We're gonna roll in the dirt a little bit. So that space, and fight in that space of advocacy, being a space to advocate for yourselves and, taking charge and not asking for permission, but forgiveness, like that motto later on, like, all right, I'd rather, ask for forgiveness than permission type of situation.
That's right.
That y'all have cultivated in the minds of so many, whether y'all meet them or y'all don't.
I say.
So it's great.
Praise to the Creator.
Yeah, honest to you, honest to that royal family. Y'all my favorite new Africans now and forever. Y'all already know that. So
thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
For
peace
to you. Do the Knowledge Radio.
Yes. Do the Knowledge, award-winning Do the Knowledge Radio.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's it.
That's what's
all right,
up.
Peace, y'all.
Peace, everybody. Peace, Warren.
The Black woman is God, plain and simple. She's the mother of all Africanity, and I'm her companion, her complement, her confidant. Since the beginning, so it will be in eternity. Our ancestors shine through us. Our offspring validate our existence.
No survival without resistance. Akivalon, stand up. Black love, stand up. Every God, every goddess, forever united and unstoppable.
Giving honor to the ancestors, those who came before us. All the wisdom that they show us. They patient cause they know us. When we fussing and we fighting, they manage to enlighten, enhance our insight. So I add a like and writing. Our connection is a titan. Our love is a colossal. Disagreement is a fossil. I am your apostle. Our love is like a journal. Turn the page eternal. Our souls intertwine. The theology of time dictates that we rewind and go back to the beginning when the deities were women. Time to stop pretending that I hate you when I love you. Putting other things above you. Don't like that others drug you. Not me, I always dug you. I believe we've been together since the birthing of forever. You work the stormy weather. I'll never do it better than I do it in your presence. You validate my lessons. My God begets blessings. That's why I call her essence.
The black man is God, plain and simple. The world sees your greatness, why can't you? Y'all wanna see the sisters step up and lead this fight? Cause we will, but not without you. You're a warrior, a scientist. I'm your complement, your companion. I only wanna see you on the throne.
So black man, step up. King, step up. Ain't no way we don't rise when we got a black woman that knows she's God. Ebony, yes.
You my dove, I'm your new, you the truth, I'm the proof, no abuse. My masseuse, tie me up and turn me loose. Sebek and Heteru, giving thanks in Neteru. For the king I get in you, no regrets in picking you. Like I said to us all, I remembered who you are. I'm your moon, you're my star, your performance over par. Through the pain and the scars, the shackles and the bars, I fly from here to Mars with my feelings in the jar. If I thought it set you free, I gotta have you next to me. Your intellect vexes me, your conversation is ecstasy. You and me is heavenly. Freedom is our legacy. I've yet to see another brother that can touch the best in me. DOK with Ebony, together for eternity. Even when you hurting me, I'm by your side, certainly. Written in the sacred text, from this cycle to the next. I'm the most and you the best. Face to face, we ace the test, huh? See, what y'all don't understand is we were meant to move in harmony. 2 minds, 1 soul. It was written in the ancient scrolls. With the black man as your backbone, how could you fold? Take back what they stole. They broke the mold, but these songs were made to hold. And hold on, be real. Nigga, be still. Bitches, be real. The deal has been sealed, and all who come against gets killed.
Then you will always be looked down upon as a chump by the white man. You never will be given recognition nor respect.
You think that you a citizen? Citizens don't get harassed and worry about the police killing them. You represent the USA. Well, they try to find ways to kill your black ass every day, huh? You love the red, white, and blue. Well, I wonder how this government feel about you. You call yourself a patriot, I call it all an act. How can you love a country that never loved you back? When did Uncle Sam start loving black folks? When he took away our land, our names, and all hoes. Maybe when it worked us, till our back broke. Let's jump off this slave ship and do the backstroke. But you don't wanna leave your slavery and Jim Crow. You think you know it all, but it's all that you know. Your perm and your job, fast food to go. Big screen TVs and reality shows. They either killing you fast or killing you slow. Decreasing the odds of our children to grow. Got them popping the bars and snorting the snow. Having dreams of selling crack rap or making the pros. The school is full of crap teachers making them doze. They wake up in the cell guard taking their clothes. We don't say shit until the casket enrolls. Uncle Sam big pimpin', we get treated like hoes.
Uncle Sam big pimpin', we get treated like hoes. The Asians and the Arabs in the hood getting chose. Where we run through the highs and crawl through the lows. Korea in my hair, Vietnam on my toes. Arab disrespect me when I walk in their stores, but I got nowhere else to go as my dignity grows. My mind goes numb, my sensitivity slows. My heart grows cold until it's finally froze. This is a place that don't respect us, I don't think that it's fair. I gotta talk like I'm a peckerwood and straighten my hair. Best to get a shitty job with a desk and a chair. My man ain't had no luck, but what I get we can share. Only thing is they gon' kick me out my house if he there. I don't fuck with child support if he ain't doing his share. I won't give him to the enemy, what good is he there? Crack a garnish in his wages, got y'all thinking he cares.
You think that you a citizen? Citizens don't get harassed and worry about the police killing them. You represent the USA. Well, they try to find ways to kill your black ass every day. You love the red, white, and blue. Well, I wonder how this government feel about you. You call yourself a patriot, I call it all an act. How can you love a country that never loved you back?
You cannot go without this book, and let me explain why. Voices of the Diaspora, written by Knowledge Born Allah, takes you through countless and countless different blacks. From our scholars, our warriors, our great sisters, and even entrepreneurs. It speaks to the past, the present, and the future. There's even an action plan for us that are serious about businesses that we wanted to take on. Entrepreneurship is one of the first things that he speaks about. And if you're an avid reader, this is a 5-part series. So this is not only a great resource for ourselves, it's a great resource for us as parents. We can teach it and incorporate it into our lesson plans for our children.
Knowledge bomb. What's the science, baby?
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them. That in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? No more. This man's mind is open. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a. Let's get
And
back
that
to
motive
the
is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.